Wes and Steve will draw a weekly winner.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Good morning from the traffic center. Got a wreck right at the end of the merge ramp coming northbound I-65 at the 334. You'll want to move over to the left lane to get around that one. And we got 72 westbound at Ryland Pike trying to clear 67 near 20. Indicator was a no injury. Drake and Triana was a no injury. And they sent EMS to 20 and State Docks Road to check for a possible minor injury there. The $6 big box is back at Popeyes with 2 crispy pieces of that hand-breaded Louisiana seasoned chicken, 2 sides, and a buttermilk biscuit. Popeyes, University and Jordan, 72 and Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect a partly cloudy sky. High temperatures expected to top out in the lower 80s for the afternoon. Heading into your Monday night, a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 50s, lower 60s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, mostly sunny, high temperatures near 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Good morning and welcome in. It is a brand new live edition of Talking Ball. This morning coming to you live from the Bill Penny Toyota Service Department, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're here, and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the show and of the fun this morning. And being that it is a Monday morning, it is time for the good, the bad, the ugly, and your report cards from over the weekend. And I'm sure a lot of that has to deal with what happened in the SEC on Saturday. And 256-576-4977. You can weigh in on your good, the bad, the ugly from over the weekend, as well as your report card for Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, the rest of the SEC. And obviously the big game of the weekend was that Tennessee-Georgia game. That led into the Alabama game. So there was a lot of stuff happening within a few hours. And if you start with the Alabama game at LSU, we said in the week that LSU was talented enough to pull this off, but things had to happen, and those things happened. Alabama did not play Alabama's best football. It's a trend that we have seen here and there, Drew. The line continued to struggle, and an off night. Bryce Young was great when Bryce Young needed to be great, but Bryce Young also struggled a little bit on Saturday.
He did. It was probably, I'd say, if you want to say the ugly was Bryce's first half. It wasn't very good. Play calling was atrocious from Bill O'Brien. He didn't try to run the football. The first drive was great. Great mix, went straight down the field, but then an ugly interception from Bryce, his only pick of the game, but it was probably the worst I've seen Bryce throw the ball. And again, you preface it by saying Bryce is a warrior. He's not 100%, but he's fighting through it. He came off a bye where he threw about 25 passes a game a practice last week, pardon me. He didn't throw at all on the bye week, so they were trying to rest his shoulder. And the lack of reps and timing, I guess, he was just a little off. Yeah. Now he did battle, and he gave his offense, 5 leads, and certainly gave the defense of Alabama 5 leads in the second half. And Alabama played good defense in the first half, sans the run from certainly Jaden Daniels for the touchdown, or I should say the screen on the blitz on the touchdown. Daniels scored the winning TD, what turned out to be the winning TD in overtime. But again, I think overall when you look at it, that Alabama defensively had 5 chances to make a stop on defense with the lead. They led 9-7. They led 15-14. They led 21-17, and then of course they tied it at 24, and then led 31-24. And each time they could not get a stop the entire second half. So I thought the defense was bad the entire second half. Nick Saban basically said that in his post game. Said he thought the defense was good the first half, not good the second, and it's just been kind of a trend under Pete Golding. It's kind of a situation where Alabama's either lights out or either they can't get a stop.
Right.
And they just couldn't get a stop. And, to show you where Alabama is along the defensive line and how soft they are, Alabama finally did put LSU in a few third down situations in the second half, and in one late. It was 21-17. Kool-Aid McKinstry held up in coverage, and right now, to me, he's the only good on the defense. He's playing at a very high level, but it was 3rd and 7, and LSU was in 2-down mode because, again, they have to score a touchdown to win the game and give themselves a chance. A field goal does them no good, and they ran the ball up the middle for 11 yards and got the first down, and then the next play was a corner route touchdown to Jason Taylor's son, and then Taylor ended up catching the winning 2-point conversion. So
is that play calling right there, or is that the guys not making the plays of the play that was called?
Well, I'll just say this: no matter what somebody calls, if somebody's running it, up your rear end for 11 yards on 3rd and 7, you're just soft. Your defensive line's not getting off blocks. They're not making plays. They're not executing. So that's not all on the coaching staff and Pete Golding. I think it's more on the development on the defensive line, misses in recruiting, and, a defensive line coach in Freddie Roach that, hasn't gotten the most out of his guys. Byron Young had a really good game, I thought, along the front. He was probably the only other highlight other than Kool-Aid McKinstry, and the rest of the D-line I thought just was a non-factor. They didn't make plays in the backfield. They had 5 or 6 sacks, but again, they couldn't stack plays because even when they would create a negative play, they would turn around and give up a 15-yard run to Daniels, 25-yard run, or they wouldn't be able to make a stop on 3rd down and give up a completion. They just weren't able to make plays. And again, I know LSU's a talented team, and Jaden Daniels has improved, and I give much kudos to Brian Kelly for having his team ready and how much they've improved this season, and the Stones to go for it on the 2-point conversion. That's a hell of a call. They deserve to win. I'm not making, I was irritated at the officiating in the Tennessee game. There was nothing, the Alabama just lost this game. They got out-coached. They got outplayed. I know some people are talking about an illegal block or a missed, block in the back on the touchdown from Jaden Daniels in the overtime to give them a chance to go for 2 and win it. But, I still think if they backed them up, Alabama's going to give it up because they didn't stop them the whole second half. There would have been probably a breakdown in the secondary, or he would have scrambled again, made a play. I just didn't have any faith that the defense was going to make a stop. I thought the only time I thought they might, have a chance to do something was when he threw an incompletion, I believe, out of bounds on the first play after they were up, 21-17. But I think the next play he ran for like 25, 30 yards.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where Alabama couldn't get dialed in. They look disjointed. They've looked disjointed all season. They haven't played good complementary football consistently for 4 quarters, and it happened again. And ugly once again. 9 penalties for 92 yards for Alabama. Just
you can't do that. That's a trend that's been going on for a little while now, and this is just we've seen this. This team is an undisciplined football team, especially when they're on the road.
Yeah,
when they're on the road, it seems to rear its head for some odd reason. And then
and then bad. I just thought the run defense yet again. They gave up 180 plus yards rushing.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And then I just think where Alabama is, and we saw it. And one of the good things we saw was Georgia's domination of Tennessee.
Woo!
Just
speaking of offensive and defensive lines, that Tennessee one. We knew going into the year that the biggest question was, will this offensive line from Tennessee protect Hendon Hooker? And for the most part, they had gotten the job done. Georgia exposed that offensive line on Saturday.
Well, Georgia's just better than Alabama up front on both the offensive and defensive lines, and they're much more physical. And Jalen Hyatt said it after the game. He was held to 6 catches for 63 yards and no touchdowns. Tennessee got some meaningless touchdown late.
Right.
They really got dominated for 4 quarters, and it's because Georgia had a different plan. They covered the middle of the field. They were very physical. And as Jalen Hyatt said, Georgia's a lot more physical than Alabama, and they are, and that's why the game played out like it did. Georgia was able to get stops and pound Tennessee and stop the run. Tennessee ran the ball 42 times for 94 yards. They averaged 2.2 yards per carry, so it was a dominant performance. Stetson was really efficient. I said he had to play better than he did against Florida. He certainly did that.
17 of 25, 257, and 2 touchdowns for Bennett.
And I'm sure, unbelievably, you probably noticed it, but Mo, Larry, Curley, and Shemp were officiating that game as well, the same ones that officiated Alabama, Tennessee. And they did blow a call early, which should have been a safety for Georgia when there was a fumble in the end zone, and then the offensive lineman did not get it out of there. But guess what? Georgia didn't care. They forced the punt, and then the first play they hit Ladd McConkey for a touchdown. So they played through that. They know who they are. They have an identity of physicality. Alabama used to have that. Alabama has no identity. They've become a soft program. And their identity used to be dominating teams on the line of scrimmage. They were a line of scrimmage program built inside out, and Nick Saban and his coaching staff have gotten away from that. It's why they're not going to the playoff, and it's why they're not going to win the SEC West more than likely, and they're not going to go to Atlanta. And we'll see how this team responds. I really don't know what to expect going to Ole Miss, but I'll definitely tell you this. The good coming out of the weekend was Georgia's the best team in the country. I don't think there's any question about it.
Yeah.
And I think LSU is the best team in the West. And I mean, Brian Kelly's now made it a debate about Coach of the Year in the league because of the way they've improved. You still got to give it to Heupel if Tennessee wins out, because Tennessee is still in the college football playoff conversation. They just have to be big Georgia fans and hope Georgia runs the table and then beats LSU like they did, and then they'll have a case being 11-1 to be in the playoff. But
I mean,
Alabama's
LSU,
case is over, and LSU has a small chance.
Well, they do, but
because LSU has no margin for error. They got to win out, and then they got to beat Georgia to make that case. But that's going to be tough. Right now, as much as LSU's improved, man, and you got to give them total kudos.
I was just going to say, because you look at the beginning, they lose to Florida State in that opener, nearly pull off. Well,
Florida State's 6-3 now. I mean, they beat the Ruiz Hurricanes like a yard dog. The Ruiz Hurricanes have given up. You're talking about ugly. The Ruiz Hurricanes and Texas A&M. Whoever paid for a ticket to watch that game, they need to ask for it back and ask for some NIL money as well for being fans, because that was a couple of crap programs that are awful right now.
Well, if you're LSU, you miss that, but then how do you not? I mean, you've got to figure out a way to beat Mississippi State at some point when Mike Leach is there, because that loss to Mississippi State, that's your one loss in conference play. You don't have that, then you have a little bit of margin for ererror.
Well, no, the one loss for you talking about for LSU?
Yeah,
LSU actually came back and beat Mississippi State.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah. Because LSU's one conference loss, like we said. I mean, they got upset early, but Tennessee just destroyed them.
Yes, that's right. It was at home
in Baton Rouge. A lot of people, including myself, thought LSU had a legit chance in that game, and thought that Tennessee would win a close one, but it was never close from the opening fumble on the kickoff, and at one point it was 37-7. So Tennessee dominated, and that's what I'm saying. That's why Tennessee needs Georgia to win. If Georgia wins and keeps and runs this table and is undefeated, your only loss is on the road. Now it was a whipping, but your only loss was on the road to the number one team in America. So you have a legit case, especially after Clemson. Don't think we got to worry about Clemson.
No, Clemson is done.
They're done.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
First of all, I'm with you on Notre Dame. I just have a feeling anytime Notre Dame is
give Notre Dame credit. I mean,
they
totally dominated them.
Yeah, they crushed that one. All right, let's get out to the phone lines. Lewis is with us right out of the gates this morning. Good morning, Lewis.
How about them Tigers?
Congrats, Lewis.
Yeah, they played well.
How about them Tigers? I appreciate it. Man, their defense was the big factor in the game. The offense, they're constantly progressing, which is awesome. But the defense stepped up I'm talking about an impactful way I didn't even come in. But it really was a good game.
It was a great game, and kudos to Brian Kelly. I mean, he had a great game plan. Brian Kelly had a and the LSU coaches had a great game plan for attacking Alabama.
In fact, they did. Now, one thing this weekend that was very funny was watching Tennessee get drugged all over the field. That was just ridiculous. Didn't see it coming, but I imagined it happening. But y'all called it.
Well, I mean, I called the Georgia win. I didn't see a drubbing like that, but it was an absolute drubbing. I mean, it was basically over by the middle of the second quarter.
But to all the fans that called in, say how Alabama was going to just walk all over LSU, Tiger Nation, baby. To all of them listening right now, I know they hear me. But y'all boys have a good day, and I'll be tuned in.
All right, thanks,
Lewis.
Well, speaking of ugly, I know they were shorthanded, but boy, oh boy, Texas A&M laid another egg on Saturday against the Florida Gators. 41-24, Florida over Texas A&M. The Aggies right there with Auburn in the basement of the West, 1-5 in conference play. That's some ugly. But I tell you what, I know the Auburn Tigers fall to Mississippi State on Saturday.
But what a comeback! Though.
You've got to give them credit. I mean, they were down 24-6, I believe it was.
24-3 at one point. Yep.
At half, they were down 24-6, and it was they come back to lead
33-30.
Have a chance to win it. It goes to overtime, and Mississippi State prevails in overtime. But Carnell Williams and company, I mean, they could have folded like Mike Leach folded all the chairs up on the sidelines on Saturday because he felt like his wide receivers were too soft, and he said all they needed was a deck of cards out there along the sidelines because he felt like they were just taking it easy. But they could have folded up, but they didn't.
No,
they battled back.
They fought, and Anders missed a field goal in overtime, unfortunately for Auburn, and so they would have given them the lead, and then Mississippi State scores a touchdown to win at 39-33. But I mean, what a game! What a comeback! I mean, I was busy watching Alabama LSU, and it went down to the wire, and then we turned it over to and we had been monitoring the Auburn game, and it was one-sided in the first half, and you're thinking, wow, I mean, this is gonna be another blowout, but it was actually a complete reversal almost, except for the result of what happened a year ago. When Mississippi State was behind 28-3 and came back to win in Auburn. This time, Auburn comes back, and they're winning 33-30. State has to make a long field goal, and for State, making field goals has been just a chore. They made a field goal, about a 44-yarder, with just under a minute to go to tie it at 33, and then it goes into overtime. It's anybody's game, and give Carnell Williams credit. I mean, he had his team motivated. Yeah. Certainly, he had them locked in. They came back. I mean, they get a loss, but now, I mean, Texas A&M, his season's so bad, they're an underdog to Auburn on the road.
How about that? 2-point underdog right now.
I mean, and the difference in talent on the squads is stark because, I mean, again, the highest paid roster in America is what you got out of Texas A&M. But see, that's why this NIL stuff has got to be regulated because, again, how are you motivating these players to continue to play when they're getting paid? They don't have to, give their NIL money back. Like Kamar Wilcoxon, the safety from Florida, he walks away. Florida kicks Brenton Cox off the team. If they're getting, it's going to be interesting. You don't really know exactly how it all works behind the scenes.
Right.
But are these NIL contracts? We were told when Miles Brennan walked away, he kept all his NIL.
Yes, that's what was reported.
I mean, if these guys are getting paid, how are these people that are giving them NIL deals getting any return when they're not even playing on the field? That makes it interesting because, of course, it's already been brought up with Alabama. Would Bryce Young not finish the season and decide to prepare for the draft because he's they're not in the contention for the West? I don't think so. I wouldn't expect him to play in the bowl game,
right?
Because that's basically the deal now. Alabama had a couple guys, Terrell Lewis and certainly Trevon Diggs, that did that in the Citrus Bowl against Michigan in 19, and that's just what people do now, man. If the bowl doesn't mean, if it's not a college football playoff or you're not playing in an SEC championship game or whatever, these dudes don't play in these meaningless bowls anymore.
That's true. That's true.
Bryce Young will be trying to be a top 5 pick, top 3 pick.
Yeah, the bowl games
in for number 1. So he may not even end up playing in the bowl, but I think he'll finish the regular season.
Well, that's the thing.
To me, that's
the new trend.
That's quitting on your team there.
That's the new trend, is not finishing the season with your team. The bowl game we've seen.
Yeah.
It's not finishing the season.
I don't think that's happening with Bryce.
All right, Jeff from the Borough with us real fast this morning. Good morning, Jeff.
guys.
What's up, Jeff?
I just want to say how about Brian Gary going for 2 was a lot of guts. He didn't want to play anymore. And
I mean, it was gutsy, man.
A lot of guts, and he converted it. So, but you're right, Drew. Tennessee Georgia game was not that close, and people up here think they're still got a chance for the playoff. I don't think so. Who created his worst day? If that don't prove he's not a first round pick, I don't know what does. That's what he did Saturday. And I watched the Kentucky Missouri game. Why I did, I don't know. They were so undisciplined Saturday. I don't know how many penalties we had. We jumped 3 times in a row outside. Weaver did it once. J.J. Weaver did, and then Jordan Wright did. They gave Frank with an extension. I wish it'd been 10 years. They gave him 2. But they won. Levis had the guts to stand in there and throw 3 touchdown passes, and Colin Goodfellow, I call him Great Fella, as a guy said on the post-game show Saturday in Lexington, he saved our bacon with that punt. That if he falls on it, they're going to score and beat us, or if he kicks it out of the end zone, we'll probably find some way to lose. So he saved our bacon, and we got Bo Osborne, 6-3 and all that stuff. So, but if Georgia's going to win the East, they're going to beat Mississippi State, and even if they tie Tennessee, they're still going to go. So as far as the West goes, I don't know. But I'm with you, Drew. I know you tweeted something out about Saban having, it's
going to Clemson, and so Alabama bumped up Kirby Smart, and he stayed there for a decade, and he's hired Jim McElwain for 4 years, and they had a lot of success, won a couple of national championships, and set the tone to win a third in 2012 when Doug Nussmeier stayed for a couple years as OC. And then after 2013, he reset the program when he realized that they needed to make some changes offensively because of the hurry up, no huddle kind of stuff. The officials not calling it, illegal man downfield and just letting this up-tempo stuff, kind of change the rules. Well, then he changed with it. He had to bring in Lane Kiffin and brought in several new coaches after the 2013 season, actually. So I think it's going to be the third reboot here. I definitely expect some coaching changes at Alabama after this season because again, they've lost their identity. They've lost their physicality, and people are some are talking about Scott Cochran. I don't think it's the strength coach at all. I think it's and people want to say Alabama's small. I don't think Alabama's small physically. I think they look really good, like a really good looking football team. But again, you can be and they compete and they play hard. I'm not saying that Alabama doesn't play hard in the game, but you can compete and play hard and be soft.
Right.
And just lack toughness. And this team does, because I was watching the LSU game. This LSU team really struggled along the lines of scrimmage early in the season. They have gotten better. And then late in the game, I saw Alabama. They weren't able to get stops, and they were getting pushed around in the line of scrimmage. It took Alabama, even after a pass interference penalty with a 1st and goal at the 2, 3 plays to score. I mean, 1st, 2nd, and then 3rd down, they had to score. And they weren't getting a lot of movement at the point of attack. They were getting stoned because, again, I don't think they're good enough in the interior of the offensive line. And the defensive line, I don't think, has been developed properly. And they don't have, Jaheim Otis has been really good for a freshman. But, just like I've said this before, but Tim Smith, he played a lot Saturday. He did more as a freshman than he does now. These guys have not progressed in their game. I don't think they're good fundamentally. And I think Alabama's lacked some fundamentals, and that's why they get a lot of these penalties and everything. They're not disciplined. They're not fundamentally sound. And I think Nick Saban's got to get back to his core with Alabama football, and the core is you build the program inside out. You've got to be better than the other guy up front so you can dictate what to do. And then I think Bill O'Brien, he's done it some this year, so I don't think he's a terrible offensive coordinator. I think he's solid, but he's got too much NFL mentality. They threw the ball 50-plus times against LSU, only ran it 26. And the thing is, I think part of it's because they don't have confidence in the interior of the offensive line to get a push, and they're trying to put it in their best players' hands, which you understand. But you've got to be better up front, and I just think they're not as good enough up front. And I felt like, too, Bill's not real creative. There was no end around. There was no reverse. There was no trying to create other kind of ways to run the football.
Right.
And I didn't think they went to the quick game enough, maybe. And then this team has been best when it's been up-tempo. I didn't see any hurry up or up-tempo against LSU because LSU's weakness on defense, they'll tell you, is their secondary. and Alabama wasn't able to take advantage of that matchup. I didn't think they approached it correctly. I didn't think the game plan was good. And then with Pete Golding on the other side of the ball, Pete's a solid defensive coordinator, but he's a drop-off, no question, from the Will Muschamps, the Kirbys, and the Jeremy Pruitts. Yeah. He's just not an elite DC, and to me, they've got to get back to getting somebody in there where Alabama plays with physicality and intensity, because I think they lack intensity defensively at times.
How much is the I guess you could say the wide receiver play, the inconsistent play from the wide receivers?
Ja'Cory had a big drop at the end of regulation that would have made it first down around the 12, 13-yard line, giving them a chance to maybe walk it off with a touchdown. Certainly they've got to improve with that. But again, they haven't gotten open consistently, but some of it I think is scheme. This is not a team with explosive wide receivers that are going to beat you deep. I mean, this is a squad that's got some bigger, stronger guys, and I think they do better when it's a quick game and it's short, intermediate passing. But they've tried to make a lot of vertical throws, and I just don't think the game planning in some ways has played to the strengths of the players. And again, something Nick Saban said kind of stuck with me after the game. I still think he likes the team, because he said that. He goes, I really like this team. I think they can be really good if we can get everybody focused and play the football the way we're capable of playing it. But to me, that meant he didn't like the coaching staff. I don't think he likes his staff. I think he's made some mistakes. I think he knows that, and I think he knows at the end of the regular season / bowl game that some dudes got to go.
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, I know we got a couple questions, and Wolverine Dan's holding. We'll get to you right after the break. It's Talking Ball live from Bill Penny Toyota on a Monday morning.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a wreck at California and Wells. Apparently a no injury there. I-65 northbound at the 334 right at the end of the ramp. Looks like it's now clear. 67 near 20 indicator should be clearing. Drake and Triana should be clearing. Still may be working 20 in State Docks Road. That one had a minor injury. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-7. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hey there, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. We're celebrating 40 legendary years here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. And to kick this off, we're coming in hot with our all-new Alabama Hot Chicken. Fresh southern fried chicken breast smothered in a blend of tangy, immune-boosting herbs and spices with a spicy finish. Served up with a side of homemade smoked Gouda cheese grits, Miss Mary southern greens, and garlic bread. And there's plenty more where that came from. Stop in today and celebrate with us. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the kale crunch salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Indeed, welcome back. We are back, and we're live from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., they can take care of all of your vehicle needs. 256-576-4977. That's how we can help you jumpstart your work week with some sports talk here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Wolverine Dan with us right out of the break. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dan.
Well, good morning. Listen, fellas, when it comes to Bama, you've had a great run. There's no doubt about it. And it still probably can still happen. As far as run next year possibly, but I don't think we're going to get the playoffs this year. But what I will say is, I don't know, guys. I saw Nick on the sidelines on TV when he played Texas, and I just saw him recently with the LSU game. I don't care. Your body's going to do what your body's going to do. At 70-some-odd years old, yes, he's in very good shape. When you're in your 70s, things are going to happen. I think he's kind of worn a little bit, all right? And I don't know how long that means he's going to coach. But, and my wife was telling me she's heard Bammers on the internet or something saying they want to get rid of Nick. And I said, you got to be kidding me. All the stuff he's done for this program, and he's still a very competitive coach. Oh, is he just, look at, that person that said that, look at, how are you going to feel at 71 years old? You know what I'm saying, guys? Come on.
I mean, these are the same people that would have wanted Coach Bryant to retire probably, and it's just, again, with a head coach like Coach Saban, that's never going to happen. He's going to choose when to walk away, and he's earned that right. If he wants to at the end of the season, that's up to him, and you thank him for what he's done. He's made college football what it is today. All these guys, Kirby doing what he's doing, Lane, making the money he's making. So many of them are connected to Coach in some way or the other. He's He's elevated salaries. He's helped create the SEC network, all the money that's going into college football. He restructured the salary tree basically when he came to Tuscaloosa. So what he's done has been amazing. What he's done for the university, the way he's made it grow. I mean, but again, but I don't think he's done. I think he wants to take this on. That's my opinion from what I've heard behind the scenes. But again, things happen. They lost 2 games by a combined 4 points, and they lost on the last play twice. They haven't played great football. This team hasn't been as good as it had been hoped. But again, saying Nick Saban needs to retire or needs to walk away, I think that's way too premature, and that's just people overreacting sometimes.
Yeah, I think so too, Drew. I think you're 100% with that. So I know that's it's sad right now a little bit. Everybody's not happy about it, Bama Nation, but I'm going to give you some positive stuff, okay? So let's start. Let's start with the Michigan Wolverines. Lake Corum, another 100-yard-plus game, 2 touchdowns, okay? In the last 4 opponents we played in the fourth quarter, we've held them to 3 points, and we've scored 100, okay? We're ranked 21st in total offense with 465, 4th in rushing at 250 yards a game, averaging 44th in scoring, 42.4, guys. And, I mean, even the defense, you're looking at defense, we're second in the nation with a total of 242 yards per game. And then you're looking at rushing, we're only giving up 72 yards. I mean, fellas, look at TCU loses. I don't care if we lose or win. If we win out and we play Ohio State, either we lose or win, we're in. Because let me put you this way: TCU will have a loss. We'll have a loss, but we're losing to a top-ranked team in the nation, and we went undefeated all year long. I think the Big Ten is going to get Ohio State and Michigan in. What do you think?
There's a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility. I think if you're looking at it right now, Georgia would get in. What about the Big 12? If TCU runs the table, TCU gets in. And then what do you do with Oregon? If Oregon runs the table with 1 loss, that 1 loss coming to Georgia at the beginning of the year, what do you do with a 1-loss Pac-12 team over a 1-loss Michigan team? Or a 1-loss Ohio State team, however that game plays out.
And it was a very one-sided game, but Oregon's only losses to the number 1 team in the country, and I've been saying that repeatedly.
That's yeah.
And it would also come down to what kind of game it was between Ohio State and Michigan. I mean, that's what's going to the Tennessee fans are going to be nervous about, because they were trounced in the game. They were soundly whipped by double digits.
Right.
If this is a classic Ohio State-Michigan game, then there's going to be a case for that, for the loser of the game. But we'll see. And then, of course, the winner of the game still has to go on and win the Big Ten championship, because if you lose the Big Ten championship, it's that's going to be to the detriment, and it could knock you out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. That Big Ten West
I don't. I mean, Illinois, come on. I don't see them in the same class as Ohio State and Michigan.
So let me give you a couple more positive things, and I'll let you go. How about my Detroit Red Wings, guys? 3 games, the last 3 games, gave up only 3 goals, win every one of those games. And one of those games was a 25-year anniversary of the Red Wing team, and not many teams in the NHL have done this, went back-to-back, okay? 97 and 98. And then you add on to that, Rogers only can muster up 9 points against the Lions, and the Lions won that game. So, and then, of course, finishing it off, fellas, my Minnesota Vikings in overtime are 7-1 in a Central Division that's really bad now. So we're going to get a clear path to the playoffs, and I'm getting ever so close to that $4,000 ticket from Biloxi.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks. They win again.
Yep, thanks for the call, Wolverine Dan. All right, let's stay on the phone lines this morning. And Dennis is with us as well this morning. Good morning, Dennis.
Morning, Dennis.
Good morning. Good morning. And kind of sitting on a little bit of what Wolverine Dan said, I'm 28 days younger than Nick Saban, and I'm still working in the business that our family started back in 1962. So I can tell him, yeah, the body does kind of slow down whether you want it to or not. And so there's that from Nick Saban's standpoint. But I absolutely do not see him walking away
Right.
until I think it's established that he cannot control it. But now, having said that, and now that we've got full-blown evidence that Alabama is no longer sitting at the top of the food chain, Drew, how do we fix this? And can we hang on to this number one recruited class that we've got going in right now that we haven't signed yet?
Well, I mean, I think Alabama and Nick Saban has done a great job in recruiting. They're going to have to hold on down the stretch. There's no question about that. But in the past, they've always been able to do that, and they've set the stage and been able to, and close the deal. Now, NIL does change things, but I do think Alabama is starting to build up their NIL with high tide traditions. Now, I don't think they're going to pay out like Miami because, of course, Cormani McClain, the number one corner in the country from Lakeland, Florida, would want to go to Miami when they can't beat Duke, Florida State, Middle Tennessee, and others. Yeah. Because he just loves the Canes. I mean, we all know that that's a bunch of horse manure.
Yeah. But he loves playing with a school that doesn't have an on-campus stadium.
Yeah, they don't have an on-campus stadium. They're soft as church music. He's going for a hefty payment. But I don't think every kid is going to be on the take like that. You have to find the right players, and that's up to Nick Saban to do that. I think they're going to be able to hold on to the majority of the class, if not all of it. But the key is going to be the battles down the stretch. They've got, I was talking to someone last night, and I think they're going to add probably, I've been saying 28, but it could be 29 to 30. So they've got 23 committed, so that means 7 left, probably 5 to 7. And there's some key battles that they're trying to win down the stretch. That's going to be the key, because if they don't win those battles, they'll still have a top 3 to top 5 class, but somebody like Georgia could jump over them and get the number one group. So they've got to finish that out, but also they have to balance it, because I don't think they're going to keep this coaching staff together. I think they're going to make some changes, and they have to, because I think they've got to get back to their core. This is not Alabama football that Nick Saban built. What they've done and where they have gone since 2020. Sark was a great OC because he always stuck with the run. He always fed Najee Harris. They always stayed physical. Of course, they had a better offensive line. I understand that. But again, the core was better and the style was better. The play calling was more creative. And again, I just think overall, I think it was just a better fit for what they were doing. And again, as I reiterated earlier in the hour, I don't think it's a strength coach problem. I just think it's some assistant coaches that are subpar and maybe some coordinators that aren't quite elite. Now, they're not bad, because Alabama can be a 9-3, 10-2 type program and win a bowl game. But unfortunately, when you're Nick Saban, you're judged by SEC titles, college football playoff berths, and national championships.
Well, the precedent has been set.
The precedent, it's you're feeding the beast. And so, if you want to be elite, if you want to be the Georgias, if you, I'm still not even sold on Michigan and Ohio State. I think they're both really good, but they're playing in a weak conference. I don't really know how good they are, but I do think that Georgia and Tennessee are really good. And so, and I'm interested to see how Tennessee. They've had their first, adversity.
Well, they have this year. They really did. They got hit in the mouth. They got hit in the mouth.
Let's see how they respond. If they respond correctly, I think they've still got a chance to make the college football playoff. But again, I just think overall, when you look at it, Alabama's got to reset. Saban knew they had to do that from a strength and conditioning standpoint after they finished the 19 season the way they did. And now I think you've got to reestablish your identity as a program. And I think the way you do that is you make some staff changes. You keep some of your assistant coaches because, again, you're trying to recruit and finish out this class. But if there's one thing I know, Nick Saban's always been able to figure out recruiting. Now the interesting part is going to be the transfer portal too, because I think the transfer portal is going to be loaded with kids who got lied to and who didn't get the playing time they wanted. And I think it's I'm already hearing this. It's going to be a crazy portal season, and I'm sure Alabama will be involved in that as well.
Yeah. But how much do you want to be involved in that?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's kind of bugged me, though, in a little respect, not talking about the transfer portal, but, we can go out to California and pick up a kid, but we lose a Peter Woods that's 30 minutes from Tuscaloosa in state. And those kind of battles seem to signal to me early on that we might be cracking in that regard as well. And the obvious difference between our offensive and defensive line play for the last 2 years versus what we're now having to face in the Kirby-molded programs. That's also kind of disturbing.
Well, and here's the common denominator, and it's Freddie Roach.
There you go. Okay. I didn't want to admit that.
All right. Thanks for the
So,
phone call.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's
Thank
get
you.
one more in real fast before the break. Todd's with us this morning. Good morning, Todd.
What's up, Todd?
Good morning, Drew. Good morning, Scott. How y'all doing this morning?
Good,
We're doing
sir.
good.
Man, just want to say that last call. You guys talked on some really good points, kind of a lot of the points I wanted to talk on. But I just got back from the game last night from New Orleans and went to Baton Rouge. And first off, it was an electric game. Absolutely electric. I mean, that stadium was just jumping off the charts. But one thing that I wanted to ask you guys a question about is that 2-point conversion at the end. I don't know if you guys already spoke about that, but what's the reasoning for going for that? There's no chance for them to go for 2 more drives, so we're automatically assuming they're going to go for a touchdown. Why do we go for 2 to try and put it 6 points versus 4 points?
Well,
Doesn't
Saban
really
said.
make sense to me.
Well, I mean, I can understand what you're saying. Saban said, it's 2 field goals, and they I guess they felt like that LSU could have driven down, kicked one, and then tried to onside kick it if Alabama made a stop. Now, I'll just say this: the reason they didn't really bother me is because, look, here's what LSU would have done after they scored on that drive. When if Alabama had even, whether they hit it or not, it would have been 22-17, 23-17. Yeah. But if it's 22-17, I'm very confident in this, that LSU, when they scored to go up 23-22, which they would have, they would have gone for 2. Yeah. There's no way they wouldn't have, because again, you wanted to give yourself at least a field goal lead. So if Alabama kicked a field goal, you got a chance. It's still tied. So, and the way Alabama was playing defense and couldn't cover me in the flats, I figure LSU probably would have hit the 2-point conversion. Maybe they wouldn't have. You never know. Yeah. But I'm just saying, momentum-wise, the way you felt with Alabama defensively the whole second half was they're not going to stop them. And, and that's why the drop from Ja'Cory Brooks was big. And Ja'Cory had a good game. I'm not getting down on Ja'Cory, but it would have – and this is kind of the missed opportunities where Gibbs dropped the ball late against Tennessee. They needed to walk off the game. They needed to win it in regulation. They needed to score a touchdown late to beat Tennessee. And then they needed to score a touchdown late to beat LSU, and they let both opportunities slip through their fingers because, quite frankly, this defense doesn't have any dogs on it. They don't have any killers.
Because they take the lead late, does Alabama, and you're thinking, if this is the prototypical Alabama team, after Bryce Young does what Bryce Young does, leads him down the field, they get the score, that this Alabama defense is going to clamp. They're not going to allow LSU to drive the field. They're not going to allow LSU to score. I mean, you're in your mind, that's what you're thinking because we're used to seeing that.
But this team has not got that in.
That
doesn't happen.
What's scary about that is, that was all the makings of a classic Alabama win, and then when it didn't happen, it makes you really kind of question and think, what's going on here? What's going on in the program? Because, like you said, there's no dogs in the defense. That is the first time I've seen in a long time on an Alabama defense, where's the dogs at? Where are these guys who can go out there and make a play when it's times get rough and when we have our backs against the wall? We didn't have any of that. And I also want to say, on our offensive line, there's a lot of times that 4-man rush was really getting some pressure. And throwing the ball, when we're trying to make any types of throw, I mean, Bryce Young was having to be Houdini out there, scrambling all over the field. That last drive when he made a touchdown, I thought he was sacked at least 4 different times. And for him to get out there and just make the play and make a play and make a play, it's just, I feel like we struggled a lot on some stuff that is what we're known for. And we've kind of lost that, like you said, Drew. We've lost that identity. We've lost who we are as an Alabama organization, and we have to remake that, and we got to kind of reinvent who we are again. And then another thing on top of that is the offensive play calling. Holy crud, it was just no imagination. I felt like we ran the same RPO over and over again. No runs out of a single back or anything. And when we were in the red zone, we had no big jumbo packages in there where we could just, heck, I would be okay with just doing a wildcat to Jahmyr Gibbs and have 10 offensive linemen out there. But we did the same RPO out of the shotgun all game. And it was just tragic, man. It was real tragic.
Yeah. And I'll say this, too, before we go to break. I think a mistake Saban made was taking Sal Sunseri off the field. He brought Coleman Hutzler in from Ole Miss. He needs to move Coleman Hutzler back over to special teams, just let him handle the kicking game, and put Sal back on the field, because Dallas Turner and Will do not look like the same players. They do not. I know people are game planning for him, but they still don't look like the same dudes. They're not attacking. They're not doing what they did a year ago. Sal Sunseri is a hell of a coach. He's the best outside linebackers coach Saban's ever had. He's a really good recruiter. Saban wanted to go younger, and he made a mistake, and hopefully he'll rectify that. But I just think that's really hurt Alabama defensively.
All right, thanks for the phone call, Todd. We are up against this break. Let's get it in. Wrap up hour one when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning. Streets a bit slick this morning, so you be careful. Got a minor wreck, California and Wells. Had one northbound I-65 about the 334. They've cleared it. We got Drake and Triana that's clearing, and 20 in State Docks. Minor injury there, but it should be clearing. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Saturday, November 12th in Jasper, Alabama, just minutes from Lewis Smith Lake, prime riverfront property will be offered at a one-day liquidation sales event. Getting killed in the stock market? Buy something real, something you can enjoy with your family today. Buy waterfront. This RV-friendly gated community has great kayaking, fishing, and wildlife, along with a large community area for social gatherings. Estate-sized parcels from $29.9 and direct waterfront parcels from $79.9. Prime waterfront properties on rushing water in a gated, gorgeous setting. Individual RV sites with utility hookups, no time limit to build, minutes from shopping, hospitals, schools, and neighboring a beautiful country club. One-day liquidation sale November 12th. Estate-sized parcels from $29.9 or direct waterfront parcels from $79.9. Call or click 877bigview.com for more information and to schedule an appointment. Don't miss this amazing opportunity on estate-size or waterfront parcels. That's 877-BIG-VIEW. Call or click 877bigview.com.
Have you been to an Iron Bowl? Even if you have, you haven't experienced the ultimate Iron Bowl tailgate experience, and it could be yours. How? Head to Baumhauer's Victory Grill every week to sign up to win. We'll also draw weekly winners that will win a lunch bunch from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. So what should you do? Go to Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Sign up for the ultimate Iron Bowl tailgate experience. Listen to The Drive each Thursday, and Wes and Steve will draw a weekly winner. The ultimate Iron Bowl tailgate experience, presented by Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again proud to be a sponsor of All Things Football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We're live from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department, where Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., they can service your vehicle. They can do it on Saturday as well, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. out here at Bill Penny Toyota. Getting ready to wrap up hour number 1 of the show, and a lot of talk centering around that Alabama-LSU game. We talked some of the Auburn-Mississippi State game, Georgia-Tennessee along the way, and you look at the Alabama, and people are talking about the physicality along the lines of scrimmage for Alabama, or the lack of physicality along the line, and you look at how Georgia manhandled Tennessee along the lines of scrimmage on Saturday. Is that making it worse, the fact that it's Kirby Smart and Georgia doing this? If Georgia was not led by Kirby Smart, I mean, would there be a lot of these comparisons? Or
no?
Is it just
it's not about that?
things?
It's just about Alabama being soft. Doesn't matter who's coaching Georgia.
Yeah.
You watch the way they play. It just happens to be that it's Kirby Smart who learned from the master and who's the national champion. And they've got a really good shot to win it again because they know who they are, and they've stuck to their core principles. Alabama's gotten away from it. Alabama's soft on both lines of scrimmage. Because of that, they might not even beat Ole Miss, who they're much better than, I think. I think they're, if they did things the right way schematically, if they attacked, and if they, were physical, I think they would be able to slow Ole Miss's run down enough. Now you're not even sure about that. How motivated will this team be? I mean, they've played hard all year and competed, but now they're the goals they set to be an SEC West champion, go to Atlanta, be a SEC champion, and have a chance to play for a national championship in the playoff are pretty much gone. Now, it's not decided because again, LSU
could fall off the map.
LSU has to win those two games, but
Right.
LSU's playing. An Arkansas team that's average. We know that now. They lost to Liberty 21-19. And Texas A&M is the poorliest coached team in America. And so I don't give them any chance. I give, Ray Waller a better chance of going on Price is Right or Wheel of Fortune than I do Texas A&M beating LSU.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's probably one of the uglies from the weekend, though. Was Arkansas losing to?
Congrats to your Seminoles, Ray.
Yeah, the ugly was Arkansas though, losing to Liberty. Look
at the Hurricanes. The Seminoles just whacked them in Coral Gables in front of 5 people and a dog.
Hey, the Hawkeyes beat Purdue though.
Yeah, they actually scored.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all?
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning from the traffic center. Just got a wreck at Pulaski Pike and Patterson Lane. That one's coming in with injuries. Couple of no injury. Andrew Jackson and McKinley in California and Wells should be out of the way pretty quick. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write this name down now so you have it in the future. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist, where they have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect a partly cloudy sky. High temperatures expected to top out in the lower 80s for the afternoon. Heading into your Monday night, a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 50s, lower 60s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, mostly sunny, high temperatures near 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It's hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome back to the show. We're live, as we are most Mondays, from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here on the service department. And Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., they can service your vehicle. All you need to do is just bring it out here to Bill Penny Toyota. Let them take care of all of your service needs. And Alabama has a lot of needs. We've been talking about some of those problems they could get serviced if they were a vehicle here at Bill Penny Toyota, but a lot of it you're going to react because of the way they played at LSU. And a lot of what we have seen from Alabama is not a one-time thing that reared its head at LSU. A lot of it has been kind of developing over the season. The penalties, the lack of physicality along the line at times, those are problems that have been rearing its head all season long.
Well, yeah, and this team has just not been able to put it all together, and we're going to talk about it with our next guest. And he joins us usually on Mondays. Now, last Monday, he was still across the pond taking an excursion for Alabama's bye week, and he was with his family, getting some quality time, and so certainly we hope he had a great time over there in London, and I think he got a chance to see the Jags play the Denver Broncos and get a chance to take in some sights and sounds. But now he's back with us on Mondays giving his thoughts on Alabama athletics, and that is the senior analyst for BamaOnline.com since 2003, Travis Reier. Also part of the Second Helping SEC podcast with Brent Beard, and, of course, the BOL podcast, and Talkin' Tide with Chase Goodbread, and that's Travis Reier. Travis, welcome back, man. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're pretty good. As you can imagine, a lot of conversation in this first hour about Alabama. I know you do your Grading the Tide features. This team, some of the same issues we saw against Tennessee, again, rear their head, and this team just can't seem to put it together. Kind of reminds me of 2010, a very talented Alabama team that never could seem to put together 60 minutes of football, but once again, a disjointed performance on the road by Alabama.
Yeah, a team when it comes to complementary football, right? Just doesn't seem to grasp that concept in terms of all three phases sort of working together. You see stretches where One area of this team looks to be playing at a high level, performing at a high level, and then there's a drop-off. And it doesn't seem as if, in certain situations, an area of this team picks up the other. And that was kind of the case on Saturday night. 3 times Alabama in the second half takes the lead. The offense goes down, puts the team in a position where, a defense that we thought was going to be among the very best in college football this season has a chance to go out, maybe get a 3-and-out, give the ball right back to the Alabama offense with the lead instead of trailing. And they never were able to do that on Saturday night. Now, the first half, the offense certainly had its struggles, and the defense did do some good things. So, again, just getting this team to match up in all 3 phases has been a pretty consistent struggle for Alabama these last couple of seasons. And so that's what you had. You have, for the first time, I guess, since, 2010, 2011, you've got a team over a 2-year stretch under Nick Saban with 4 losses in a span. You haven't seen that in a long time either.
Yeah, that's tough. And Travis, we've had a lot of phone calls call in this morning, a lot of people reacting to the game, a lot of people surprised at the lack of physicality along the lines for Alabama, especially in this game.
Yeah, I think defensively you start there, and you look at other teams around college football, Georgia specifically with Jalen Carter there on the inside. They've got a war daddy. Alabama, really some of the very best teams that Nick Saban has had. They've had at least a Fadarian Mathis or a Christian Barmore, right? Let alone a Deron Payne or a Quinnen Williams or a player of that magnitude. So, it's a serviceable group. That's what it is. And then you kind of leave some inside linebackers exposed in the run game that really aren't equipped to thump in a way that maybe Rolando McClain has in the past, or some of those guys, Dante Hightower, and get what you get Saturday night. And it wasn't just Jaden Daniels. The running backs were very efficient for LSU in the game. Josh Williams, 7 carries, 54 yards, had a couple of runs where he went straight through Henry Toa and Jalen Moody. So the underbelly of that defense is not elite by any means. And then offensively, I think you're kind of built in a way where you're not going to be a rush attack like you were even last year with Brian Robinson. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to give you immense playmaking ability, and you're thankful for that. He had over 160 scrimmage yards Saturday night, so not a knock on him in any way. But when you're leaning on a back like Roydell Williams to get the job done in short yardage, I think that kind of tells you where you're at, too. And Roydell did a nice enough job. Scored a couple of touchdowns there in short yardage situations, converted a couple of 4th downs on Saturday night. So the running back position has been pretty good when you just look at scrimmage yards and things like that. But getting consistency in the run game, and we had heard last week from Nick Saban that perhaps there would be some more diversity in terms of what Alabama does in that area. Well, there really wasn't. There were a couple of 3 bread-and-butter plays, the outside zones, and those type of runs that have been staples of this offense, and at times they've been very good to this offense. But there hasn't been a mix. We continue to see pre-snap motion, orbit motion, but it essentially looks like that's being used to indicate to Bryce whether it's man or zone coverage, not really using those guys in those situations other than to do that.
No question about it. And then, Travis, your thoughts, about what Alabama, where this team goes from here, because that's what I question. I mean, we brought it up. It's a remarkable run that Alabama, this is the first time in over a decade that by this time in November, it looks like they're out of the SEC West race, which means no, SEC championship game. Back in those days, it would have been a BCS, but now it's the college football playoff. This team has competed hard. I think they've, and I think they, I think they play hard. And again, and what I mean by that is, we don't see any give up in these guys. They have, the want to, but again, I still think you can play hard and you can compete, but you can be soft, and I think this group kind of lacks some mental toughness too. It's an interesting conundrum now with an interesting road trip to Ole Miss. Ole Miss actually probably very disappointed because they wanted to see an Alabama win, where this would have meant SEC West likely being decided in Mississippi on Saturday.
No doubt about it. And I think it's going to be interesting moving forward if we hear Nick Saban say he really likes a team. What does that exactly mean? Because I think in the past, we had taken that to mean, oh wow, this is going to be one of his better teams, which is saying a mouthful with all the success he's had at Alabama. But he's been consistent in that, even after the loss Saturday night. Really like this team. Well, you're right. It can be a team you like, I guess, but at the moment of truth, in certain situations, does it have the poise and the ability to go beyond just what is expected positionally? Let's say you're playing in a certain coverage, and you've got your coverage. You've got your guy covered. You're covering the right guy. But then can you make a play? And we saw that Saturday night. The true freshman tight end against a veteran safety on a couple of the biggest plays in the game, and the true freshman comes up with the win. So, and we've seen some of these guys make plays in the past. I guess that's what's a surprise to me, too, is that you think about the SEC championship game last year. DeMarco Hellams and Jordan Battle were both huge in terms of making plays against Georgia in that win. Haven't really seen that this year. We don't see Alabama on the back end get a lot of hands on football. Now, Kool-Aid McKinstry has evolved into one of the better corners in the SEC. You were hopeful that Eli Ricks would jump in there opposite of him and mostly play man coverage and kind of shut down one side of the field. And in the first half Saturday night, LSU didn't even really go there. It really looked more towards Kool-Aid. But in the second half, they got around to Eli, and Eli ends up with a couple penalties. Brian Branch has a big PI late in regulation. So, again, I think really good football players, guys that are going to play a long time probably in the NFL, but for whatever reason, in big spots so far this season, they haven't really come up with anything.
Is that on the players or is that on the coordinators, do you think? Because obviously fans react in a different way, and if you follow the social media links and the channels, boy, oh boy, the coordinators getting a lot of heat. But is that on the coordinators or the players?
Yes, that would be my I think there's both. I mean, in some instances, like I just outlined, you're talking about some veteran players in these situations. These aren't freshmen, and they're in position a lot of times. And we can talk about Knoxville and the unfriendly nature of the flags in that one, but that wasn't the case Saturday night, So, at the moment of truth, can you make the play? That's really what it comes down to. And really right now, when I look at this football team, there's one guy that I feel confident in being able to do that, and that's Bryce Young. And even as very mediocre at best as he was throughout the game, when it came time to separate the champions from the also-rans, Bryce was that guy. And, again, 3 times in the second half, Alabama's offense hands the reins to the defense with the lead. And in each instance, really, the defense wasn't able to get the ball back to the Alabama offense with the lead. They were never able to do that Saturday night.
They weren't, Travis, and we're talking to Travis Reier, BamaOnline.com, senior analyst, and then this defense all year has not been disruptive, Travis. They did have some sacks and tackles for loss Saturday, but I never thought they were close to forcing a turnover.
No, and they were aggressive early in the game. I thought they were bringing some extra guys, and we had heard Saban talk earlier in the week about being very cautious and almost mush rushes with Jaden Daniels, but they got after him pretty good. But it seemed like after they busted the coverage on the John Emery touchdown there, where Chris Braswell apparently didn't drop and came on the pass rush instead, it seemed like they backed off some of that a little bit. That backed them up. And so they aren't, though. You're right. And that's the other side of that. Even when they're not aggressive, they're making mistakes and losing leverage on Daniels on the touchdown run in overtime. And that's a base LSU run play. Mm-hmm. And you lose leverage on him on the corner there. And it couldn't have been any easier. A couple of guys get blocked, and, he just sort of walks into the end zone. So, I don't think it's as much conceptually as probably a lot of folks do. That's the easy answer, and a lot of times it's the lazy answer, is to just go after the coordinators. But they are ultimately responsible for fundamentals, too. And that's as big a surprise to me with this defense, given the experience level, as anything else. Fundamentally, a lot of times, they're not very good. And then you talk about the lack of poise in some big spots, too.
Well, and I think we were in agreement starting the season that the most talented room on the football team was outside linebackers, and yet Sal Sunseri was taken off the field. And I'm sorry, I mean, I hate to put this on Coleman Hutzler, but I don't see the same production.
Yeah, it hadn't been that type of season, I don't think, for the outside linebackers that a lot of people were expecting, no doubt.
Well, Travis, now Alabama picking up those pieces. You go to Ole Miss this weekend. It's on the road, and penalties, things on the road seem to shake this Alabama team. So your feelings going forward this week with the team traveling to Ole Miss?
Yeah, I think it's a feeling of who knows, right?
Yeah.
What exactly are you expecting with this football team? First of all, what's the psyche? And knowing, as we've talked about at this early stage of the month, that you're pretty much already out of the mix for a championship. Just such a foreign feeling to Alabama football and within that building. And, I think this is an opportunity at Nick Saban's point in his tenure to show where, as much as he does during championship runs, his effectiveness as a head coach. And I don't think really anybody questions that right now. But if you go to Oxford on Saturday and get sort of boat raced, maybe by Lane, and then you limp through the rest of the month and aren't especially impressive, say, in a matchup with Auburn in the Iron Bowl, I don't think that's going to do anything to sort of silence the growing narrative that perhaps Alabama in this incredible run, this all-time run that it's been on, is coming into the station.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this team reacts. I completely agree with you. And as far as after what we saw against LSU and what we've seen all season long, the one thing that's perplexed me is I think this offense, we understand that this is not the same wide receiver core. This is not as explosive a group. I've just been kind of, wondering why we've seen it at times when they've gone up tempo and they've played fast, and it was a short intermediate passing game, like almost playing a 2-minute drill. Bryce and this team move the ball very well. They did it against Texas to win that game. They've done it at other times in other games, and we didn't see much of that at all against LSU either. I've been perplexed at why Bill O'Brien has not done that more with the personnel this offense has, Travis.
Yeah, going back to the Texas game, really after that game, I talked about that should probably be the identity for their offense.
Right, no identity.
As much as anything else. Come out with pace and really stick with it, because the most important aspect of this offense clearly is Bryce and getting him into a rhythm early. And look, he looked like he was getting there on that opening drive Saturday night, and he throws end zone interception. But and they kept trying to throw the football really on the next 3 series. Got away from the run after running it for 30 yards on the opening possession. Threw it more than anything else on those next 3 opportunities that didn't really result in anything. So that would be still probably the approach that I would take. You're right about the wide receivers. It looks like right now most, if not all, of his confidence is in Ja'Cory Brooks. And Ja'Cory does some good things, but there are also times where you understand Ja'Cory is anything but a finished product. But they still need a couple other guys to go with him, because Saturday night, whether it was Bryce's health, whether it was what LSU was taking away, it was largely about the backs and tight end Camel too. And they did some good things. I mean, Jason McClellan with the 65-yard reception. So, again, from just a scrimmage yards perspective, when you look at the backs and Latu, you're talking about over 300 yards just to those guys. So that's good, but it's certainly not the guys on the outside that we're used to seeing. And sometimes you hit it in the transfer portal, sometimes you don't. And who knows, maybe if Tyler Harrell sticks around for another year, he is Jamison Williams next year. But they needed him to be that guy this year, and it just didn't happen in large part because of his health.
Yeah, and Aaron Anderson's health as well, no doubt about it. But, Travis, before we let you go, it's kind of been lost in translation because of so much talk about the football program and what happened Saturday night. But Nate Oates begins year 4 tonight against Longwood. Alabama basketball getting underway.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. Promises to be an exciting team under Nate. Some of the new additions, I know we're all sort of excited to see that. But, some interesting matchups here to get the season underway with Longwood. Then you move into next week with some in-state opportunities with South Al and Jack State. So Mark Sears coming back home at the guard position from the transfer portal. Jaden Bradley, 5-star freshman. Ryland Griffin coming in as a highly touted freshman. Of course, Brandon Miller, of course. So those are the guys that you're really interested in seeing tonight. And, hopefully as much as anything, the health of this team can stay together. And, and we see more of a dogged effort on the defensive end from this team, because certainly a year ago, while it made the NCAA tournament, that was a team that didn't possess that quality as much as Nate Oates would like.
Yeah, and that second game on Friday with Liberty will be interesting, too, because Richie McKay's got a really good mid-major program that's been an NCAA contender. Well, Travis, we appreciate the time and the insight. Great stuff as always. Let everybody know how to follow you guys at Bama Online.
Just go to BamaOnline.com or Alabama.247sports.com. Either way, he's going to get you done.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Travis Ryer with us. All right, let's slip in Bama Bino here real fast. Good morning, Bama Bino.
What's up, Bama Bino?
Great show this morning, guys.
Thank you.
Travis covered about everything I was going to say, and a lot of what he said you had said and Scott had said. Fundamentals is what's really tripping me up. You break down, you make that man commit one way or the other. They're lunging, they're getting their feet clipped out by just a bump or something. Break down and make that man go one way or the other to where you don't lunge and go the wrong way. It's fundamentals. And why is Saban letting these secondary guys rooster fight the whole time, and right in front of the referee, they slam the guy on the ground and think they're not going to get a penalty? I mean, that's what's killing Alabama. It's killing Alabama having to go 3 downs, stopping a team, and then when they pass it on 4th down or 3rd down, either one, they're going to get an inside of downs because they're interfering with them. All you got to do is throw the ball on Alabama. They're going to self-destruct. And it's been this way for 2 or 3 years. It's just, in my opinion, we've had such good players around them, like Bryce Young and Najee Harris and some of those guys, and the 2 receivers last year that nobody could keep up with, Williams and Mishi, that it just really didn't kill us. But since Bud left, since Kirby Smart left, secondary has went down the tube. It's went down the tube, and fundamentals is what's killing us. And but you covered a lot of what I was going to say though this morning. But I've been on O'Brien all year. Maybe that's why he ain't running as much on 1st and goal from the 7. You just don't trust that they can get a push. But I still think Jameer Gibbs can get 7 yards in 4 plays. I mean, surely, but I'm disappointed in the fundamentals. I don't know everything there is to know about all of the more complex things, but I know fundamental football, and I know blocking and tackling, and we're not fundamentals is where we're slipping. But you've covered a lot of it. It's been a great show, and I love you guys.
Thanks, Bama Bino.
Thank you, Bama Bino. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that seems to be the resounding voice of the fan this morning, Drew, is the fact that it's the fundamentals that are blowing Alabama's mind, or blowing their minds, is the fact that Alabama fundamentally is not where they're used to. That seems to be the most frustrating point to a lot of fans.
Well, yeah, and it's what I've said before, and that goes with being soft because they're not fundamentally sound. They're not an line of scrimmage program anymore, which has been at their core. They've made several mistakes, I think, in some hires and some guys that have or been in place too long, like a Pete Golding. I just don't think. I think he's a good defensive coordinator, but he's just not up to the Alabama standard. And I think that now that you've seen him for 5 years, you understand that. Coach Saban was trying to stick to the same formula, like when he developed at LSU a young Will Muschamp, when he developed young Kirby Smart at Alabama, when he developed Jeremy Pruitt. But this guy isn't as good as those, and I don't think he ever will be. And I just think he's not a great fit for Alabama. Good football coach, certainly, but not up to the standard where Alabama's trying to get, and that's to be elite. Certainly, you got to give Kirby credit. He took a couple of young coaches with him from Alabama, Dan Lanning, who's now the head coach at Oregon, and he took Lynn Schumann with him that have done a great job at Georgia. He is former teammate now, Will Muschamp, back with him at Georgia as well, and they haven't skipped a beat, and they know who they are, and they've stuck to their identity. And Travis is right, though. The identity for this team this year, while it wouldn't have been one of physicality, should have been a quick strike, hurry-up style of offense with Bryce and these receivers, since they didn't have the big play guys and the vertical guys to make big plays in the passing game consistently. That needed to be the identity. And then Jahmyr Gibbs in the running game. And then this defense, though, still should have been more fundamentally sound, still should have been coached better. And there's just some deficiencies there that the only way you fix it is through, making some staff changes.
All right, we got to get a break in because when we come back, we need to talk some high school basketball. Robbie Coker will join us on the flip side. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck with a motorcycle involved in Madison, Sullivan, and Maine. Got Pulaski, Pike, and Patterson being reported as an injury type. And we got Governors in 12th that was also reported as an injury accident. Snelling has direct hire opportunities for an experienced bookkeeper and a staff accountant. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Going out big, staying in snug, whatever you're up to this holiday season, Ulta Beauty has everything you need to add a little bit of shimmer and a whole lot of shine. Because our kind of holiday is you having your kind of holiday. Shop fan favorite brands like Fenty, Dyson, and Drunk Elephant. Plus so much more. Now's the time to glow your way. Go ahead and visit your local Ulta Beauty or buy online and pick up in store. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Hey there, folks. Head fry cook Bob Baumhauer here, and I just want to say thank you for allowing Baumhauer's Victory Grill to serve you for 40 legendary years. When I first delivered Alabama's first taste of buffalo wings back in 1981, people thought I was crazy. For the first few years, I had to give wings away. Imagine that. 40 years later, I'm still proud to serve the great people and visitors of Alabama our famous buffalo wings and much more. Here's to 40 years of legendary fun, legendary food, and many, many more.
Here's something to get your tailgating in gear this football season. Brooks & Collier have the perfect selection of outdoor furniture for your dream backyard and the biggest selection of grills from Big Green Egg, Traeger, Blaze, Memphis, and Montalpi. Football season is grilling season. Lucy and Ivy, they're just waiting on something to fall off the grill. And remember, you could qualify for 12 months deferred interest with Synchrony Bank. Brooks & Collier, 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission, a not-for-profit organization, is driven by the love of sports. November brings some great sporting events to the Rocket City, including the AVCA Fall Collegiate Beach Championships November 4th through 6th, the Gulf South Conference Soccer Championship November 3rd through 6th, and the NCAA Division I Regional Cross Country Championships November 10th and 11th. For the love of sports, the Huntsville Sports Commission. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
And just like that, we are back. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, live from Bill Penny Toyota Service Department, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get on out here, take a look at Bill Penny's Toyota Service Department, and then while you're here, just kind of mosey over to the showroom, see what kind of Toyotas they have available and the financing deals. They can get you in a new Toyota. Then you can get that Toyota serviced here at Bill Penny Toyota, and you can visit with us on a Monday when we're out here. So it's a win-win for everybody. The college basketball season gets underway tonight in full force. Division I style. Division II style, the UAH Chargers pick up a big one yesterday against Lincoln Memorial. 24th ranked UAH, 83-81 winners over 6th ranked Lincoln Memorial. They're 1-1 on the year. The high school basketball season got underway on Friday. It's now in full force as well.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's going to be one of the best programs in the state of Alabama coming to Huntsville High tonight. They are the defending 3A state champions. This will be year 10 for their head coach. He has won 3 state titles in his first 9 seasons at Plainview High School. They have one of the best cultures in the state of Alabama, one of the best programs regardless of class in the state of Alabama. They do things the right way, and if you're wanting to see a well-coached basketball team and 2 well-coached teams, then you'll come out tonight and support these young men as the Plainview Bears are going to come play the Huntsville Crimson Panthers in their season opener. And this has kind of become a rite of passage, Huntsville High and Plainview meeting early in the season. And we always enjoy our conversations with Robbie Coker, and he's back with us this morning to talk some Plainview Bear basketball. Coach, welcome to another season, my friend. Thank you for the time. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, Drew. Thanks. You need to be honest with your listeners. We all know there's one guy in the Rams we get allowed to talk to today, and it's Jeremy Pruitt.
That's a great point. How is Coach Pruitt doing, man?
He's doing good, man. I'm ready for him to get out of here, man. we share the same Buddy's guy card at the Rainsville Country Club, so him being at home this summer killed me, man. I had to rent a card more this year than I ever have.
Well, he'll have time to play now because he's free. You won't have time to play because you're in the middle and you're getting ready to crank up another year of basketball.
Yes, sir. First off, let's talk about the phenomenal job Christian Swears has done at Huntsville High School and the program he's built. Don't forget at one time that was a revolving door. I think they included the janitor having to coach the basketball team, and the culture he's built and the expectations. And I was at the game Thursday night against Oakwood. The environment. I mean, what a great place to play a basketball game. And it's a great opportunity for us to see where we stand. And, the light is in the tunnel. The work is done. It's time to go enjoy a good game.
Well, and I know you had another good summer, and with you, it's not always results-oriented. You want to see how your kids develop, and you want to challenge them and play good competition. I love the summer. I love the fact you can play other people. Every team is different. Every summer is different. What did you get out of this one, Coach?
We've got a mature group. We've got 9 seniors and 6 juniors on our 15-man roster. It's the most mature and most experienced group we've probably ever had and maybe ever will have. We're very athletic and long. Obviously, the elephant in the room is how do we replace Cole Milliken, 2-time 3A Player of the Year, probably the best player in school history, and maybe Sam Mountain. You don't replace guys like that. It'll be a collective effort. We'll look a little different. We'll have to do some different things, to create scoring opportunities. But we like this group of guys. They seem to like each other. And it'll be interesting to see kind of how we settle in the game tonight and see what kind of opportunities present themselves.
Yeah, talk about that just a little bit more. I mean, obviously, basketball is one of those sports where you don't have to be a fine-tuned engine in Game 1 or Game 2. You want to build. You want to slowly build as the season goes along. But what have you liked so far about your team in this early season practice and going into an early season game?
I like this group's approach. We've had very little drama. They kind of get it. They've experienced the ultimate highs and the ultimate lows. They know what it takes to be successful. They know how we handle our business. And they've been very workmanlike in their approach. They've showed up. They've done what they've done, what they were supposed to do. It's kind of ironic with dual enrollment and whatnot, guys. I don't know if you guys know, but I've got 4 or 5 seniors that don't get to campus till 1 o'clock. It's like I'm coaching a junior college team. It's kind of weird. And I was worried it would be a distraction for this group, but they've done a good job of just handling their business and approaching things the right way.
Yeah, they have. And Luke Smith, it feels like he's had 6 years of eligibility at Plainview. Such a good player, a guy that can play inside and outside, very skilled, and it's been neat seeing him develop for your team, Coach. I mean, I still think he's one of the more underrated players in the state of Alabama.
Sure, he's going to take on a role of being a facilitator a little more. He's been very fortunate to play beside Cole Milliken his whole career. Cole was great about getting other guys going and helping others create scoring opportunities. We've challenged Luke to be more of a facilitator. His assist numbers need to go up. There's no question when we put the ball in his hand, we expect him to be able to get us an advantage on the offensive end. Defensively, he sets the defense. He's on that ball in the press. He's called on to get rebounds and guard some in the post. He's a two-way player for us. We certainly anticipate him in the big year for us.
Jonah Williams also making some news. He commits
awesome.
to UAH to play for head coach John Schulman and company. How excited are you for that, and how excited are you to have him back on the floor this year?
Jonah's a guy that's been in our program for 9 years.
Wow.
He was a water boy. Dad's assistant coach. He's heard everything I have to say about the game of basketball. He loves the game. He's a perfect fit, obviously, at UAH. I mean, high IQ guy, high ACT score, quality human being that values winning, that puts the ball in the basket. I'm certain he's going to fit in there and have a great career there. And I know I gave Coach Schulman a hard time, but he wanted Cole Milliken last year, and it just didn't work out. I've been trying to get a bear over there for some time. And I'm thankful that we finally got one over there. We respect the program that Lenny obviously built, and now Coach Schulman is doing a great job as well. And I know he had a big win this weekend.
Yeah, they
certainly did. As far as the Bears, Jonah's going to be required to handle the basketball more for us as well. And then on the defensive end, he's going to get harder matchups as well. We need him to use his experience and his toughness to help this team on both ends.
And I wanted to ask you about another couple of your seniors that I know have played a lot of basketball for you, but as you said, Coach, every team evolves, and these guys are going to take on different roles for you. But talk about a couple of your seniors as far as guard play, Dylan Heyman and Levi Brown, and what are you expecting out of them?
Dylan Heyman is maybe the most underrated player on our team. He's very quiet. He just does his job. He's kind of been a Swiss Army knife for us the last couple of years. All three of those guys, that we talked about, played heavy minutes as freshmen, for us, and kind of took their lumps. And Dylan moved to the wing. He grew up a point guard, but when Cole Milliken's in the program above you, you better find another position. And Dylan did that. He's been our backup point guard as well for the last 2 years, and now he gets the ball, and he's just got to be himself, man. We have a lot of confidence in him. He's had a phenomenal offseason. He's really been good for us, and we've got a lot of faith in him, and looking for his role to grow. And then Levi Brown's a tough kid. He's got banged up in football. He's got a bad wheel. We're hopeful that he'll be able to overcome that, and his role will grow as the season goes along, and he gets into basketball shape. He brings a sense of toughness to our team, and he's a guy that can play on the wing as well, fighting the post a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And we know you like to make these Huntsville swings. You're going to play your good friend Ronnie Stapler, and I think the favorite in 4A, Westminster, pretty early in the season on November the 15th. You guys are going to play out at Supreme Courts, I think a TV game against Scottsboro. Just looking at the schedule, you're going to play Ramsey. Of course, this week we talked about this daily trip up to play Huntsville High. You guys rotate year to year playing home and home with each other. You're going to play against Oxford and Joel Van Meter. Another very challenging schedule to get your team ready for February, Coach.
You named Pinson Valley and defending 4A state championship.
That's right. Pinson Valley might be the most talented team in the state. And Coleman, yeah, there you go.
And then Baylor from Chattanooga. Yeah, I mean, I kid people. I appreciate the compliments we get on our schedule, but sometimes that schedule, we don't choose it chooses us. And it's certainly, the state only gives you 30 games, man, and our guys spend a lot of time and effort behind the scenes working, and go out and play good teams and be in great environments and play people that care about basketball. We believe iron sharpens iron, and like I said, can you imagine the environment tonight, and then you go Thursday to Supreme Court to play Scottsboro, maybe the best team they've had 40 or 50 years, and then you look up and you've got a kid with Kansas Halford and a legend of Ronnie Stapler coming in on next year. So the 3 games in 8 days is crazy, and we're just trying to survive and get better and see where we stand.
Coach, that's a good problem to have, though, as far as scheduling goes, when you don't have to. You can draw a circle around, 60-mile radius, 65-mile radius, and you have enough challenges on your schedule to challenge your basketball team. It's a credit to the coaches in North Alabama. It's a credit to you. It's a credit to the kids for working hard, frankly. But the basketball here is good enough to where you don't have to go too far to challenge your squad.
Absolutely, man. That's a great point. The kids in North Alabama have done a great job of taking basketball to another level. I think the results speak for themselves. I think it was 14. Was it 12 of the 14 last year was North teams won the state, maybe at Birmingham. We've got great boys and girls basketball. Like you said, 60 miles either way. And that's definitely a credit to the kids, and you can see their work paying off, and it's certainly exciting to be a part of.
It really is, and I know, Coach. I know you were there on Friday night, or excuse me, Thursday night. Pardon me. Friday night was high school football for us, but Thursday night, Huntsville did open against Oakwood. Oakwood, some believe the number 1 team in 1A, very athletic team. They came out, they got a 10-0 lead on Huntsville. Huntsville did respond and punch back. Your thoughts on what you saw out of Huntsville High on Thursday night, Coach?
Huntsville High is extremely talented, very, very big and athletic. Not many weaknesses. I think as the season goes, it's going to be interesting to see how they find their identity. And what I mean by that is they've got several ways they can be successful. They can go big. They can go fast. They can play a lot. They can play zone. They can play full court press. They can score in a variety of ways. It's going to have, they're going to they're going to tweak and they're going to find their identity as the season goes along, and how good they can become will be interesting, because I think they have all the pieces to make a deep run. I know that, they've experienced heartbreak back-to-back Elite Eights to Spain Park, and I assume that's going to fuel them for a major run this year. As far as Oakwood, like you said, I was very impressed. It was kind of cool, Jack State legend coaching the team. It's the first time I've ever talked to him, and it was cool to talk to him after the game. And they've got a great basketball team as well. Thought they did a great job of handling their own. I think they've got several seniors on that team, and you can imagine their motivation after what happened last year with them. So I think you're right. I think both those teams have great opportunities to make deep postseason runs, and are going to be hard outs, even that out.
And with all the experience, I think Oakwood has 9 seniors. You certainly do. You have 9 seniors and 6 juniors. As you said, the most experienced team you've had. So they've been in environments like this. They're certainly going to be ready to play tonight. What do you want to see out of your squad and have a chance to get a big road win? And I know you've come to Huntsville and got wins before, and your program certainly loves and relishes these opportunities. What's going to be the keys for you tonight?
On the defensive end, you've got to stop the transition defense. You can't allow Huntsville to get out and run and score 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s. They do a great job in transition, and then they do a great job offensive rebounding. They crush people on the glass. They use their size to their advantage. I don't think we've ever kept them off the glass to have great success. Last year we kind of outscored them a little bit here, but they've always done a great job of crushing people on the glass and playing relentless. And on defense, you have to handle the pressure. You got to, get a shot to the basket. We want to play fast. Our style that won't change. We really need to score in transition. If we'll have a tough time scoring on them in the half court because of their size. And then I want to see us compete, man. I want to see us, find our identity, find, who we're going to throw it to at the end of the quarter if we have a chance tonight. Cole Pelican took up shots for the last 3 years. And how are we going to do that in a real game? It's going to get hard tonight. Somebody's going to break that pressure. Who's it going to be? I look forward to seeing who responds. And how it is. Practice is great, and most of the time you know what you're going to get. But there's some guys that are gamers. There might be somebody on that bench that takes advantage of their opportunity not to play and carves out a big role for this team and moves forward. We've always had a senior come through that stepped up. Last year Bryce Luther. We don't talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about Cole Milliken, but he's a 5'9" 2-guard that started at the 5 for us last year. Just super intelligent, made the right play, can make open shots. And, we've been very fortunate to have that guy step up throughout the course of our tenure here. And who's that going to be? There's 3 or 4 candidates out there, and I'm looking forward to finding that guy tonight. So a lot for us to learn, and then you hope you look up with 3 or 4 minutes to go and you're in the game, and you get an opportunity to see how you defend in hard situations, and can you score against a set defense.
Well, we were looking forward to it. Get your tickets on GoFan.com to get those tickets. It should be a capacity crowd. I know Plainview is going to be well represented. Going to come down from Sand Mountain, see some great basketball over at Huntsville High's gym tonight. We can't wait to see Coach Coker and your team. We always appreciate your generosity and talking some hoops with us, and look forward to seeing you tonight. Thank you for joining us this morning, Coach.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you guys. I hope to see you tonight.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Robbie Coker with us. Let's get that break in. We'll wrap up the show when we return. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a new wreck on Wynn at Gilmer. They're reporting that one as a vehicle that hit a fire hydrant. Got Sullivan and Main and Madison, a motorcycle, involved in that one with injury. And we had Patterson Lane and Pulaski Pike. That one also reported as an injury type. Governors in 12th reported with injuries. It should be clear. Andrew Jackson and McKinley in California and Wells also should be wrapped up. The $6 big box is back at Popeyes with 2 pieces of that crispy, hand-breaded Louisiana seasoned chicken, 2 sides, and a buttermilk biscuit. Popeyes, University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Is I had a few too many happening too often? Does I'm stopping at 2 drinks become more like 4 or 5? You're not alone. 1 in 7 people struggle with alcohol. Bradford can help. For over 40 years, Bradford's affordable rehab programs have helped people overcome addiction and return to healthy, productive lives. Call 888-SOBER-40 for confidential help 24/7. Start your comeback with Bradford. Call 888-SOBER-40 or visit bradfordhealth.com.
Saturday, November 12th in Jasper, Alabama, just minutes from Lewis Smith Lake, prime riverfront property will be offered at a one-day liquidation sales event. Getting killed in the stock market? Buy something real, something you can enjoy with your family today. Buy waterfront. This RV-friendly gated community has great kayaking, fishing, and wildlife, along with a large community area for social gatherings. Estate-sized parcels from $29.9 and direct waterfront parcels from $79.9. Prime waterfront properties on rushing water in a gated, gorgeous setting. Individual RV sites with utility hookups, no time limit to build, minutes from shopping, hospitals, schools, and neighboring a beautiful country club. One-day liquidation sale November 12th. Estate-sized parcels from $29.9 or direct waterfront parcels from $79.9. Call or click 877bigview.com for more information and to schedule an appointment. Don't miss this amazing opportunity on estate-size or waterfront parcels. That's 877-BIG-VIEW. Call or click 877bigview.com.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And if you're looking for a headline, we've got one for you. It's dealing with 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Don't forget, today's the day that we make the scheduling change for you at home so you can have 11 hours of live local programming. Don't forget the Chuck Oliver Show today will now move from 10 to 12. Will be live, and then from 12 to 2, you've got the Tom Abraham Show. So starting today, we do a little flip-flopping. So don't forget the Chuck Oliver Show from 10 to 12, and Tom Abraham Show with our good friend Chad Gwasny will be from 12 to 2 starting today. So 11 hours of live local programming coming your way here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And some tough news, though. Auburn announcing it yesterday that Austin Troxell done for the season. Former Madison Academy Mustang, and it has been anything but smooth journey for him down on the plains.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's his fourth injury. It's a lower body injury. Hate it for Austin. He's overcome 3 ACLs and now this injury. It ends his Auburn career. A guy that's gutsy, such a great family, and came back every time and sacrificed for his team. He suffered the injury, got rolled up on against Mississippi State in their 39-33 loss. So really feel for him, and I hate that. But on a positive note for Huntsville High, we just talked to Robbie Coker. They're going to play the Bears tonight, the Plainview Bears. Yesterday, Jamari Arnold, 18th birthday, man. He also commits to North Georgia, a Division II program. Congratulations to him. Going to continue his basketball career and get an education. Going to play with Colin Turner from Spain Park. Great player over there. Sorry, Brandon, we couldn't get to you. We ran out of time, brother, but we'll talk to you soon. But again, really good for man Jamari Arnold to commit. And again, prayers to Austin Troxell recovery. I know he's married now, got a family, but again, just hate to see him end his career like that after coming back from the 3 injuries.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for the 2 hours of fun here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We've been live from Bill Penny Toyota on a Monday morning. We'll be back in studio tomorrow. Don't forget, again, Chuck Oliver Show from 10 to 12. Tom Abraham Show from 12 to 2. It's the all-new lineup on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Born in Fairfield, Alabama, Willie Mays is one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game. In 22 Major League seasons, mostly with the New York and later San Francisco Giants, Mays had a 302 lifetime batting average and amassed 3,283 hits, 660 home runs, and an untouchable total of 7,095 career putouts from the outfield. Mays was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1951 and played a significant role in the New York Giants World Series victory in 1954. The most memorable moment in Mays' career occurred in the first game of that series when he made a running, over-the-shoulder catch at the warning track, popularly known as the Catch. Mays earned 2 MVP awards, was awarded 12 Gold Gloves, made 24 All-Star Game appearances, and was a first-ballot Hall of Fame inductee in 1979. In 2015, President Barack Obama awarded Mays a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A vow from Rams coach Sean McVay that changes have to be made after defending Super Bowl champs scored just 13 points in the loss to the Buccaneers. McVay said they have to figure out some of the solutions, changes, and adjustments they need to do to be able to get different results and different production from the offense. LA is 3-5 on the season, third in the NFC West, and has scored just 131 points. At this point last season, LA had scored 245 points. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports Packers pass rusher Rashawn Gary is feared to have suffered a torn ACL in the Lions loss. He is awaiting MRI results for more clarity. NBA Clipper star Kawhi Leonard expected to miss an 8th straight game tonight against the Cavaliers due to right injury, knee management. Coach Ty Lue says there's currently no timetable for Leonard to return to the court. They're taking it day by day.
From the ESPN studios at Pier 17 in the Seaport District of New York City, this is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch the show on the ESPN app.
Back and better than ever, Greeny with you on ESPN Radio. Oh, what a morning. We had an unreal Sunday in the NFL. We had Hembo's World Series nightmare. We have our Powerball billions, and we have the 7 most magical words in sports. Say them with me. Jets, 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 Jets. Let's go.
Here we go. Only one place to start.
All right, our one place to start, as our usual here on Monday. Rex and RC, good enough to hang out after we wrap up, get up. What a delight. One place to start, brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. We'll get to the Jets. We'll get to Justin Fields. I want to talk about the 2 legendary quarterbacks first. RC, one could argue that, look, in that division, you can't say that Brady couldn't have still won it if they lost yesterday. But that felt like something, like the magical finish yesterday, that drive from Brady at the end to go down and beat the Rams. Rex commented he looked 10 years younger after that game in that press conference, like the weight of the world. Yeah. What did you see from Brady at that finish yesterday?
Well, you saw that he's still Tom Brady, and that Tom Brady understands how to diagnose defenses and attack them in any way at any time of the game. When you look at the way the Los Angeles Rams were playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to get that seam early was huge. And also, that was a great pass. He led him perfectly. He bent him inside and allowed him to get down after making the catch. The rest of it was Tom Brady using the sideline as you're supposed to and taking what they give him. He used Leonard Fournette early because they did have a flat defender. He was able to get out of bounds. And then Scotty Miller 2 times. And obviously, the final play puts it right on Otten for the touchdown. It shows that, one, Tom Brady's never going to give up. And there's never a point in the game where you can relax when he's playing for the opposite team. And I think we finally saw that this year. And Rex mentioned it on Get Up. He looked 10 years younger in the post-game press conference because the dude just loves winning. Yeah. He's been miserable because he hasn't been able to do that.
He threw 58 passes yesterday. But Rex, what we really dove into on the show today on TV was, the Rams are the defending Super Bowl champs. And I understand they've got a million injuries, they got a million problems. But I had a real issue with the way they coached the finish of that game. Not only the defense that they played that allowed Brady to go right down the field and give him the sideline on 3 consecutive passes, but then also just making no effort to get a first down at the finish there and being satisfied to make them use their timeouts and punt it back. They did not try to get a first down and win the game. That felt What did you think of that?
Greeny, I mean, 100% I agree with you, because it felt like to me, like they've always had the go for it mentality and the right now, go for it yourself. And the way they handle free agency, the way they handle their drafts, all these type of things, all about winning. And this was a thing they didn't want to lose. And to me, it showed in the way they handled that situation. Where was it, man? Where was this guy? We crown him as one of the greatest offensive minds or whatever. Can't you get one first down? You get one first down, this game's over. And I was shocked that they went out and said, I'm going to give Tom Brady, by the way, Tom Brady, the ball back.
It almost seemed like they didn't understand at what place they are in this season. They didn't understand that they needed this win. They didn't understand how important this was to keep them in the NFC West race. They didn't play that way. They played like a team that won the championship last year, and it's like, if we don't win it this year, then it is what it is. They did not coach aggressively late nor play that way.
No, I mean, it was, my dad would have called it chicken bleep. They were just begging the clock to run out. And look, Cooper Kupp sliding instead of trying to put his head down and go get a first down. And I don't blame him. Kupp is phenomenal. But clearly he had been told, the priority here, get a few yards and get down. We're not trying to get a first down. We're just trying to run as much clock and make them use their timeouts. Part of that is that Brady had to use a timeout on the offensive series going in before they didn't score on the previous one. If they had 3 timeouts, I actually think the Rams would have been better off
had they had 3 timeouts.
If the Bucs had 3 timeouts, then they would have had to have played for the first down, and they probably win the game because they probably would have gotten one. So that I had a real issue with the way the Rams handled that whole situation. Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. On the other side, RC, you played against Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl. We've a million times told the legendary story of how you had a play perfectly diagnosed and he still beat you because he's just so freaking good. Yeah. Was yesterday the worst game you've ever seen him play?
Never seen him play like that. And it wasn't even just about decision-making. You know, sometimes decision-making comes into quarterback play and they make bad decisions. Aaron Rodgers was throwing the football to the right place. Aaron Rodgers wasn't good enough physically. And the one thing we've always said about him is that when it comes to that, when it comes to placing a football, when it comes to driving a football, when it comes to being able to have the football go exactly where it needs to be every time you need it, that's why we love Aaron Rodgers. And so for yesterday, for him to be short, for yesterday, for him to be off target, is something that we just hadn't seen. And we've talked on Get Up ad nauseum about how he's kind of passed the buck about, well, we need to be better. Offensively, we have to do this. Guys got to get open. This and this, we got to block. Well, yesterday was on Aaron Rodgers. And we've been able to say offensively, they've had 99 problems, but the quarterback was not one. Well, I guess now they have 100 problems because the quarterback is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're right, RC, you talk about being short on the ball. Not once, but several times in this game, at least 4 times in this game, he was short on it. And this is the guy with one of the greatest arms that we've ever seen, and the most accurate quarterback that's ever done it. And to me, I'm not so sure that there's not something bothering him physically. Yep. I know there's something bothering him from a team standpoint. He has no trust in some of his receivers. Right. Albeit the last throw of the game, it looked like he expected Watkins outside. He's inside. Right. So there's still that major problem. But this offense, to me, looked disorganized, Greeny. And the reason I say that is they don't break the huddle until 12 seconds, 12, 15 seconds. And that's not how Aaron Rodgers orchestrates an offense. So to me, something is wrong there. And I think physically there might be something wrong with Aaron Rodgers.
No, he's got a thumb. He hurt the thumb in that last play against the Giants, what feels like 10 years ago in that game in London. And he's still kind of shaking it and all the rest of that. But yesterday was a new low, and they lose. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. The Detroit Lions were averaging. I actually went and I had nothing else to do yesterday, so I did the math. I added up and then I divided. They were allowing 33.5 points per game going into that yesterday. They had not allowed fewer than 24 in any game. And the Packers managed 9. Yeah. They scored one touchdown. It was ridiculous. All right, Greeny, RC, and Rex. Now let's get to the 2 things that really stood out for me. Let's start with Justin Fields. Holy smoke. I mean, RC, just go. It was unbelievable.
The last 3 weeks, we've truly seen like the totality of Justin Fields' talent, right? The way that he can use his legs to create play, how explosive he is in the open field. But you're also seeing what he can do throwing the football, because now as a defensive coordinator, you have to worry about being assignment sound in the front end, but also on the back end, being able to play man-to-man, because you want to have an opportunity, whether it's a spy or have an opportunity where we can have eyes on Justin Fields. That's very difficult. And you start to think about, if you give this kid, one, a defense that can stop anybody, but also players on the outside that can make plays. Think about the last play to Equiminius St. Brown. That's a perfect throw. It's a sidearm throw where you change the angle. He's on the move. That's supposed to be a first down, giving his team an opportunity to get the win, and they let him down. And we sat here during the Dallas Cowboys game, and it was countless times that Rex and I were saying, hey, they just got to make a play for this kid. Right now, you have to be extremely excited about where he is, but also the way that Luke Getsy, as an offensive coordinator, has changed the way he schemed throughout the week and called plays on game day.
You know what I think? I think every GM in the National Football League should pay attention to the development of Justin Fields. Why do I say that? Well, I like to bet on talent, not just on who's going to come in as a rookie and play to a certain level. No. Always take the talent. And if he can reach it, you just mentioned it. If Justin Fields reaches his ceiling, as we talk about,
he's better than all the guys.
Better than all of them. Not even close. Better than all of them.
Including Trevor Lawrence, by the way.
Including Trevor Lawrence.
Like this came up very briefly on the TV show today. And look, no disrespect to Trevor Lawrence was drafted into a situation where he had a coach who literally did the worst job I've ever seen a head coach do in my life with Urban Meyer last year. So give him a total pass. So he, for all intents and purposes, remains a rookie. That's fine. He is a talented kid, and I wish him well, and he'll probably wind up being very good. I've never seen him have a day that looked anything like what Justin Fields did yesterday.
Well, guess what? The NFL history, we never seen a quarterback run for 180 yards right. Like, are you kidding me? And oh, by the way, threw 3 touchdowns with a horrible offensive line, very poor weapons, and he's doing it himself. But the reason I said that, too, he's not alone. The guy named Josh Allen is another guy like that. How about Patrick Mahomes? Another guy with that kind of upside. And when they reach that potential, you're going to be a perennial playoff contender for the next 10 years. And that's why you chase the greatness. And that's why you if there's ever another guy that comes down the road like Justin Fields, take him first.
When San Francisco played Chicago, I said, if you are Kyle Shanahan, you have to, I'd say the early season, you have to be thinking you drafted the wrong guy. And I said it in a tweet because it was only 1 or 2 plays. This kid, going into his last year at Ohio State, I said, I don't know who I'd take out of Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. And he didn't play as well in his last year. So I was like, okay, I'll take him too. And then Zach Wilson comes off the board. You're hearing Mac Jones could be 3, but they take Trey Lance. And then he falls all the way past the top 10. His upside is higher than all of those guys, but I do feel you had to have the right pieces around him. And it seems, at least from a coaching standpoint, now he does in Chicago.
Starting to get it right. Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. And then I will Rex, address this one to you, because the last time the New York Jets had a win that felt anything like what yesterday felt like, you were the coach. The organization has not had a win of that magnitude since then. And here's what I liked the most about it, and I'll give you guys the floor. That was not a fluke.
No.
If you watch that game, like sometimes, the game the Jets won week 2 against Cleveland, that was a fluke. Right. A ridiculous thing happened. Multiple ridiculous things, including an onside kick. The Jets were very lucky to win that. There was nothing lucky about yesterday. In the second half, they dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides. Quarterback played smart and well and learned from last week. The coaching is excellent. The talent is excellent. That was not a fluke in any way yesterday in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. And we're going to see the Jets in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be awesome. Haven't seen it since I was the coach. A long time ago. This is the best defense the Jets have had since I was a coach, too. Yep. And the thing I love most about it is they only have to rush 4. Look at the pressure. Greeny, you talk about dominating the line of scrimmage. 5 quarterback sacks and 15 pressures against Josh Allen. Yeah, all right. And then you flip it on the other side. They're going against the best defense in the National Football League in the Buffalo Bills. And our quarterback All he does is throw for over 70% completion rate, no interceptions. And by the way, they ran the ball when Buffalo knew they had to run the football. They ran it anyway to the tune of about 10 yards a carry in that fourth quarter of the game. So to me, an amazing game. But get used to seeing it, Jets, Jet fans, because right now, easiest schedule in the AFC the rest of the way. And, oh, by the way, we don't need an easy schedule. We just beat the best team in the league.
Yeah, they have a bye, and then they go back to New England for the redemption game. What do you think, RC?
Well, I love the I had an advanced math teacher, the stick-to-itiveness, right? You get down to the Buffalo Bills, a team that everybody's picked to win the Super Bowl. You can pack it in. You can say, oh, we're the same old Jets. This is the Buffalo Bills. We can't beat them. What they did was lean on what they can do well. They played great defense. They rushed the passer. They mixed up some things on the back end, and they ran the football down the Buffalo Bills' throat. And Rex knows this better than any coach that has ever coached in this game. If you can play defense and you can run the football, you can find ways to win playoff games. And they do have a talented passer. So I love the progression of this team. It actually seems early for them to be playing this well. This is a playoff team, and it's a playoff team that people aren't going to want to see because of the style of play. If I'm Rex, if I'm Greeny, I'm feeling really good about our team.
Yeah, by the way, every team in that division has a winning record. It's the only division, the Patriots are in last, and they're 5-4.
It's the AFC West. It's what we thought the AFC West would be.
Right. It's true. Right. And the AFC West has two teams that are terrible, and I am going to do the entire radio show today because I was able to get a late enough appointment. I will be at the DMV for the name changings. So my wife is going to be Sala Greenberg, because I think we can call her Sal.
I like that. I like that.
Stevie's going to be Sauce.
Right.
My daughter's going to be Garrett, because that feels like it could be a girl's name as well as a boy's name. And I'm going to be Quinnen. Because
Quinnen Greeny.
Quinnen Williams.
Just call me Q.
Amazing.
Oh, that dude. He's the defensive player of the year. I mean, who's the defensive player of the year in the NFL right now? Micah Parsons.
He's right up there with him.
Matt Judon's pretty good, too.
He's that good.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams is in the discussion, not only for what he's doing individually, but for what he means for that front four as a whole, both in the pass, in the run, but schematically what you can call. You think Rex Ryan wouldn't be a monster if he didn't have to bring people to get pressure?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. The only question I will ask about Micah Parsons is, does he play for the Jets?
No.
Then that's your answer.
No chance.
Okay, fair enough.
Absolutely.
And Quinnen Williams is my guy. You're the best. RC, Rex, I love you both. Thank you. We'll come back. I got my takes coming up, plus Hembo's penance on the way as we roll on. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio. So, Hembo.
Whether on your radio, the ESPN app, your smart speaker, or SiriusXM Channel 80.
Watching Mac Jones last year and watching Mac Jones this year, that ain't nothing but A.J. McCarron dressed up.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max are everywhere you are. It all starts weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Qatar, here we come.
Christian's travel agency has one goal.
Talk to you soon.
The world's biggest soccer tourney.
The hotel is 7 miles from the stadium. Are you serious? Did you email the transportation company?
Now he needs an Arabic interpreter on his roster.
I don't speak it either.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Greeny on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And he can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and
Right.
the different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we close business. We close some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
David Norwood with Joseph Carter Realty in Jasper, Alabama is a top-selling agent for Smith Lake. David is a retired high school football coach who will win for you with all your real estate needs. So if you're looking for a property in the Smith Lake area, give David a call at 205-529-2920 or visit josephcarterrealty.com. David is a proud supporter of Buckhorn football, so give him a call today, again at 205-529-2920.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Houston Astros are World Series champions for the second time in 5 years, beating the Phillies in 6 games, already looking ahead to next year. And once again, the Dodgers are the early favorite to win the World Series at plus 500. Astros again there behind them at plus 650, followed by the Braves and Yankees at plus 800 and the Mets at plus 900. College football, Alabama opening as an 11.5-point favorite at Ole Miss Saturday. Auburn -2 at home against Texas A&M. NFL tonight, the Saints hosting the Ravens. Baltimore a 1.5-point favorite on the road to close out Week 9. Week 10, the Falcons opening as a 2.5-point favorite at the Panthers on Thursday. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect a partly cloudy sky. High temperatures expected to top out in the lower 80s for the afternoon. Heading into your Monday night, a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 50s, lower 60s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, mostly sunny, high temperatures near 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Live local shows.
Hello.
Live local play-by-play.
Oh, now's a good time to check the radio.
Plus, the power of ESPN Radio. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance. I'm in a good mood. Bubba's in a good mood. Nuno's in a good mood. Hembo, not so much.
Shut up.
And richly deserves it. We will give him the verbal pounding, which he absolutely has earned as this hour continues. But I'll give you my 5 biggest takes from the NFL in 30 seconds after this word from ZipRecruiter. Are you hiring? What type of role are you hiring for? Whether you need to hire a civil engineer in New York or a mascot in Missouri, ZipRecruiter can help you find qualified candidates fast. Their matching technology finds people with the right experience for your job. You can invite them to apply. It's no wonder that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. That's ZipRecruiter.com/GREENY.
Greeny's Takes.
All right, every Monday at this time, we start it with my 5 biggest takeaways from a Sunday in the National Football League. I will tell you that my entire family is in Evanston. Stayed. The kids had parents' weekend. The dog is in Connecticut. I sat in my house by myself and watched everything that happened in the NFL yesterday without moving, because the Jet game was going really well, so I did not allow myself to move for long stretches of time. So there's nothing that happened in the NFL yesterday that I have not seen in detail. Here are my 5 biggest takeaways.
Number 5.
Justin Fields is by far the best quarterback from that class. I love Zach. I love the improvement that we saw from him yesterday with the Jets. I really have high hopes in his arm talent that he could turn out to be a really good player. Trey Lance, obviously the book is out. Mac Jones, I think, is exactly what we thought he'd be. He has the opportunity to be a good quarterback, but does not have the next level. His ceiling is too low, to use an overused phrase. The only question mark is Trevor Lawrence, and I will just say this. I've never seen anything from Trevor Lawrence that tells me he's better than Justin Fields, either in college or in the pros. I know everyone fell in love with Trevor Lawrence as a freshman. That was his best year. He's a terrific player. He was a terrific collegiate player, and he has a chance to be an excellent quarterback. But I've always said I thought Fields was better. I watch every game he played at Ohio State. To make a big deal out of his final year is ridiculous. They played like 5 games because of COVID. And then, oh, by the way, he beat Clemson in the playoff, despite getting hit in the hip so hard I thought he might never get up. And then he loses to an Alabama team that no one was going to beat. Justin Fields should have been the first pick in that draft. Certainly should have been second. And I've been saying it at the time, and you're seeing it now. He runs with the ball better than any quarterback besides Lamar Jackson. And the only guy better that I've ever seen than the two of them was Michael Vick at his best. And that's it. And he has a cannon for an arm. And when he gets it all figured out and they put the pieces around him, he's going to be phenomenal. He's not going to be good. He has a chance to be great. He just needed not to be ruined. And I was afraid they were ruining him. And now I'm not afraid of that. So Justin Fields is the best quarterback from that class, and I don't think it's even close.
Number 4.
Tom Brady is not dead yet, but the Rams should be ashamed of themselves. The Rams handed them that game. That was the most scintillating, terrible football game I've ever watched in my life. It was excruciating. Did you watch all that game yesterday?
I did. Mm-hmm.
There were only 2 games going yesterday, that one and the Seattle game, so I didn't have to watch on the red zone. I've got just the 2 games on the regular TV, so you see every snap. Tampa's offense is horrific. I've never seen a team less able to run the ball. They're just terrible, and they look on different pages. But I will say this, because I do the draft, Cade Otton, I know everything. I actually went back and looked up my notes on him. We thought he was going to go in the 2nd round. He fell all the way to the 4th. He's the tight end who caught the big pass on that last drive and then caught the touchdown at the end. He went to Washington. He had 91 catches and 9 touchdowns in his college career. He's fast. He's good. And it has taken a little time, but maybe he is going to develop into that weapon in the middle of the field that Brady has always wanted. He doesn't have that guy right now. Godwin is a little bit that guy, but he's not really. He's not Welker, he's not Edelman, and he's certainly not Gronk. So Otten might become that guy. But anyway, the story to me is not Brady. The story is the chicken bleep coaching of Sean McVay and the Rams at the end. Their last offensive sequence was a disgrace. You're telling Cooper Kupp, even if he's got a real chance to get the first down, to slide no matter what? They coached that game like they were terrified of their own offense. And look, maybe that's justified, but you can't beat anybody if you're going to do that. If you're that afraid with Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp on your team to try and get a first down and end the game against Tom freaking Brady, you have no chance. So I thought that was a joke from them yesterday and crossed them off the list. They are done because they don't believe in themselves.
Number 3.
3 on my list of takeaways from yesterday. Kyler Murray, and I was in a lot of airports this weekend, has the exact body language of a person being told that their flight has been delayed and he is going to miss his connection. That's what he looks like all the time. We had some yesterday, delightful. Saturday, not so much. We had a little bit of planes, trains, and automobiles without the trains or the automobiles on Saturday. Whatever, that's life. But you know what it's like when you're in the airport and you're cranky because stuff is going on and you see all the other people who are cranky for all the same reasons. Kyler Murray looks like that all the time. Somehow we have a picture of him smiling on our screen. I don't know when we got that. Someone must have tickled him to make him do that because he never smiles. He always looks aggravated. And I don't know. I'm no expert, but that team is a mess. He's yelling at people. Arizona is terrible. That game was there to be won yesterday, and they just couldn't win it. Geno Smith is terrific, by the way, and I'm loving watching him. But that was my observation about Kyler Murray. I hear all the time about the body language and all that kind of stuff, and yesterday I watched it all, and it's all 100% true. My top 5 takes.
Number 2.
Stick a fork in Aaron Rodgers. After 31 years, it is over in Green Bay. This team is terrible. They are unimaginably bad, and yesterday he was part of the problem. And I don't know if that's his thumb. I don't know if he's just checked out. Rodgers may be looking at this thing and saying, you know what, we're done here. It is over. We have they have no chance. Literally no chance. There's 10 teams better than them in the NFC, and the NFC stinks. The NFC is awful. Every team in the NFC East is better than them. I think every team in the NFC West is better than them, and the NFC West is bad. And in his own division, Minnesota's way better. Chicago's about to be better, and Detroit just beat him yesterday. So they're completely finished, and he's going to be 40 years old next year. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back for another year of this, but after 31 years of first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback play, I think this is over. I think this era in Green Bay is over, and I have bad news for you, fans. You're about to find out what all the rest of us, how life is for all the rest of us. Football is very different when you don't have Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. So that is my takeaway number 2. And then obviously,
number 1.
For me, it's the JETS. Jets. Let's just lose the music on that for a minute, Bubba, and I'll just give you another minute here. What I said earlier when we had Rex in our seat here, the thing I liked the most about the Jet game yesterday was that it was not a fluke. There was nothing about that game that was an accident. The Jets were the better team in the second half. They dominated the line of scrimmage. And there are very few hard, fast rules that haven't changed over the 100 and whatever it is, 3 years they've been playing pro football, because they've changed all these rules and offense and passing and everything. But there's one hard, fast rule that remains and always will. If you dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, you're going to win 90% of the time. And the Jets did that. They dominated with their defensive line, which is excellent. And they were all over Allen and didn't have to send extra people to do it. You do that, I don't care how good your quarterback is, he has no chance. And on the offensive side, when they got the ball on their own 4-yard line with 7, whatever it was left in that game, and I'm thinking, oh, God, we're going to punt from the back of our end zone. This is the same old Jets. Not anymore. They ran the ball down their freaking throats, even though Buffalo knew it was coming and they couldn't stop it. But you know who gets the game ball of that game for me? Game ball of that game. Quinnen Williams, unbelievable. Sauce Gardner, unbelievable. Garrett Wilson, unbelievable. The game ball to me goes to Mike LaFleur. the offensive coordinator, because after the disaster that was Zach Wilson's performance of last week, did you see the changes they made? If you watch that, get the ball out quick, back, but not giving him any time to do anything stupid and crazy. Back foot, get it out. Back foot, get it out quick. 2 seconds, get the ball out. Don't put him in a position to make mistakes. Run it. Even when it's not working, keep running it. Don't let Zach be a problem. Build up his confidence. That was a huge step forward for the quarterback after the week that he had last week, and I give the offensive coordinator an enormous amount of credit. So if we're keeping receipts as Jet fans, as they like to say, I was very, very skeptical of that offensive coordinator last year. I don't take back a word of it. Everything I saw. He has leaps and bounds. That guy is an excellent offensive coach. And Robert Saleh right now is a sneaky, interesting pick for Coach of the Year. Like we have said all along that the two candidates are Nick Sirianni with what they're doing in Philly and Brian Daboll with the Giants. I think you have to put Robert Saleh's name in there, and he absolutely deserves it. If we're keeping receipts, the Jets coaches have done an outstanding job this season. So those are my top 5 takeaways from the Sunday in the National Football League. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone with AutoZone. Let's get hashtag crew takes. The assembled members of the hashtag crew are assembled around me. Bubba and Nuno are in Bristol. Hembo is here in New York. Hembo, we'll save the baseball stuff for later. Give me your #1 football takeaway from yesterday.
So there's now only 2 teams in the NFL that have not lost multiple games. Those teams are the Eagles, and the other team is the Vikings. The Eagles happen to beat the Vikings 24-7, and they outgained them by 222 yards. Look, we're all willing to sort of look past issues that the Buffalo Bills are having, right? Because we know how good they are, how talented they are. But they've had a couple off weeks this year. The Eagles have had none. Let's put some respect on their name and sort of give credit where it's deserved. The Eagles are loaded, absolutely loaded.
Wait a minute.
What?
So I asked you for your #1 takeaway from a Sunday in the NFL. The Eagles played on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, your baseball team lost 2 more games and has been knocked out of the World Series unceremoniously, leaving you cranky and hate tweeting the manager. And I ask you for a take on a Sunday in the NFL, and you bring up the Eagles, who haven't played in 5 days and beat the Houston Texans in a sloppy game that stunk anyway. That's even worse. That is the worst take that we will get on this show today. You know, we have a show called First Take. Hembo just gave us Worst Take. Nuno, I come to you. What's going on, Nuno?
Not much, Greeny.
Not much ever is. All right, what's your #1 takeaway from the NFL? Don't say the Giants, who had a bye, for crying out loud.
No, but they
practiced hard.
They practiced hard. This will be about me, though. As I'm watching all these games this weekend, specifically the NFC teams, I have to hope that either Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins ends up being the one that doesn't allow the Eagles and Cowboys to be in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dreaded scenario of Cowboys-Eagles NFC Championship game will come down to like Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins making big plays. And I have more confidence in Geno than Kirk Cousins.
I'm not 100% sure Geno Smith right now isn't like the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC. He is playing great. And as I say, because there were only 2 games on at that point, I watched both of them. Geno Smith is playing really, really well. All right, Bubba, again, your team also had a bye this weekend. Yep. What was your take from the Sunday?
Well, 2 things. One, I'm with you on Justin Fields now, and I'm kind of mad at myself because I've been kind of thinking the same thing you were saying with Trevor Lawrence since freshman year, but I've just been scared to say it, so I've been but I'm with you now. Fields is better than Lawrence. He's right there. But my take is Josh McDaniels is lucky Al Davis is no longer alive because he would be fired right now.
I mean, the games they lose are ridiculous. What is the stat on 17-point leads they've blown this year? I'll give you a minute to look that up. I saw it as I was coming in this morning. They have, I want to say they've lost 3 games this year that they led by 17 points, which is like something that basically never happens in the National Football League. We'll let Hembo find those. And then as we continue, Bubba, I'm going to push the live read, because we have to set aside some time. You have the stat? What is it?
So the Raiders are 1-3 this year when operating with a lead of at least 17 points. The rest of the NFL is 44-2. in those games.
I mean, they've lost 3 out of 4 games in which they had a 17-point lead. And yesterday, right at the beginning of the game, Devontae Adams is going crazy. Like, I'm playing daily fantasy against him. Devontae Adams had 34 fantasy points, like, in the first 8 minutes of regulation. And then I don't know what happened. Did he just stop playing?
Wait, you played against Adams and Mixon?
I played. You want to hear my day yesterday?
No.
I played against Adams, Mixon, and Justin Fields. Like, if you play this, then if you know the way it works, like 150 is a good score.
Yeah.
Like, the guy I played against was way over 200, and we were still, like, in the early third quarter of the early games. It was like, that was like $1 million entry, and not mine. All right, as we roll along, Hembo will receive the pennants he unquestionably deserves. Plus, we will see if we think that the most incredible stretch of dominance of all time is officially over. Those and more on the way. It's a Monday. I'm Greeny on ESPN Radio.
Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and car insurance. Go to geico.com today.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his 4th. But you know what they say, 4th time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. Plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
And now an important message from music superstar Willie Nelson.
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and for as long as I can remember, I've been fighting for legalization of the one thing that can bring comfort to millions. And of course, I'm talking about Skechers. You see, Skechers shouldn't be illegal. They help so many people ease...
Can we stop the commercial? Willie, I don't think Skechers are illegal anywhere.
Really? But they feel so good, I just assumed that the man made them illegal.
No, you can wear them anywhere, Willie.
Well, pass the Skechers.
Skechers comfort feels so good, it should probably be against the law. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has all the fits and features you need for ultimate comfort. Fits like Arch Fit, Relax Fit, Wide Fit, and more. And features like Max Cushioning and Air-Cooled Memory Foam. It's legalized comfort.
You know what? I'm going to wear my Skechers across state lines.
You do that, Willie. You do that.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after mailing rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, get double O Rewards points with your purchase. Prepare for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You're listening to Greeny on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to believe it or not, the holidays are upon us. It is time to start thinking about the important things like, hey, what's on the menu this year? It is time to pre-order your honey glazed ham or turkey from Apple Lane. Let's get honey glazed for the holidays and make the holidays even sweeter with our award-winning banana pudding.
That's right.
Let us help make this year's holiday just so much easier. Apple Lane, come see us in Decatur, Alabama on the Beltline.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama A&M University football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com and view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see ya in a Kia. Go Bulldogs!
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Monday, expect a partly cloudy sky. High temperatures expected to top out in the lower 80s for the afternoon. Heading into your Monday night, a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 50s, lower 60s for the overnight. Heading into your Tuesday, mostly sunny, high temperatures near 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, we are back and rolling along on ESPN Radio. Greeny here with the assembled members of the hashtag crew, hashtag Bubba, hashtag Nuno. And now it is time for the penance that is well-deserved for hashtag Hembo.
I'm ready to go right now. Green light with Greeny.
So if there's one thing we all are here, it's fans. And we make no secret who our teams are. There's literally no one who listens to the show that does not know that I root for the Jets. And Nuno roots for the Giants and the Yankees. And Bubba roots for the Mets and the Cowboys. And Hembo roots for all the Philadelphia teams, particularly the Eagles and the Phillies. And the Phillies are in the World Series. And you smote them. You beat the Phillies. So while you're busy hate tweeting the manager for taking your pitcher out in Game 6 the other night, what you should have been was looking at yourself in the mirror. You need to point a thumb before you point the finger. I repeat, or I take everyone back. First, Hembo, Game 1 of the World Series, at a wedding, watches the game on his phone. They win in miracle fashion. Game 2, comes home, watches on a TV. They lose. We tell him he has to watch Game 3 on his phone. He does. They hit 5 home runs. He then gets cocky. Not only does he watch Game 4 on the television in which his team gets no hit, but he also comes on here and says this.
The Phillies are going to win the series. The Phillies have the starting pitching advantage tonight. Aaron Nola going in Game 4. He's going to win tonight. The Phillies also have their two best relievers that they did not use yesterday, Sir Anthony Dominguez and Jose Alvarado. And then Game 5 at Citizens Bank Park. Noah Syndergaard is likely to make that start for the Phillies against Justin Verlander, who, as we learned yesterday, just so happens to be the worst starting pitcher in the history of the World Series. They're going to burn that place down tomorrow night. Phillies in 5.
So, literally everything you said was wrong. All the things you said were wrong. They got no hit in that game. No hits. They got 0 hits. They didn't get 1 hit, 2 hits. They got 0 hits. Then Justin Verlander dominated them, bouncing back from the abyss. That can only happen because of forces greater than ourselves. And that force, Hembo, was you. So what do you have to say for yourself to everyone in Philadelphia that you let down? And you have the gall to be hate tweeting the manager. I'll never forgive him taking Zach Wheeler. This series was lost long before Rob Thompson pulled Zach Wheeler in the 6th inning of Game 6 Saturday night in Houston. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm sorry. The Phillies losing this series is my fault and my fault alone. Of that I can admit. I got arrogant early in the series because the Phillies took a 2-1 lead, and I lost myself. I mocked the baseball gods. Right, and that's something that I should never do. I mean, I'm a traditionalist. I love that stuff. And I cheated it. I cost the Phillies a chance to win a championship. I'll never forgive myself for the rest of my life. That does not mean that the Phillies kept up their end of the bargain, nor does it mean the manager did. But I'm willing to take full responsibility for the Phillies blowing that lead and ultimately losing the World Series.
Against my better judgment, and this is Greeny live every day from the Seaport. We're brought to you by Patron. Perfection starts with Patron. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to kill the manager. Go.
Well, Rob Thompson's decision to remove Zach Wheeler from the 6th inning of that game after throwing 70 pitches is going to go down as one of the all-time gaffes in the history of the World Series. In my judgment, Greeny, it is the worst managerial decision that I have seen since Grady Little elected not to pull Pedro in Game 7 of the 2003 American League Championship Series.
Why?
Because Zach Wheeler is your best pitcher. He has been baseball's best pitcher over the last 2 seasons at 70 pitches. He's sitting at 97 miles per hour. He had not been challenged. Yordan Alvarez is coming up, who famously destroys left-handed pitching, destroys left-handed velocity, and you, Rob Thompson, got exactly what you deserved. You operated in fear. It was obvious to anyone watching in 2003 that Pedro was done. It was obvious to anyone watching that game on Saturday night that Zach Wheeler was not.
So that's your justification for what happened. Now we come to Bubba. So, Bubba, you are, among other things, a veteran of Mike and Mike, and thus you will recall that on the old show, we would have to do things. With Mike and me, it was usually we would be paying off a wager on the bracket, and, we would have to do, like, stupid punishments. Terrible things would happen to us, because we would lose. In those cases, we would lose a bet. And over the years, you've seen it. I milked a cow, which defecated on me, I've had better days. And then, whatever. I sang and Mike got his legs waxed. And do you believe that this actually rises to the level of Hembo serving some sort of actual penance?
I mean, I think if he wants to get back in the good graces of the gods and theoretically Philly fans, then yes. So I think we need to order that Altuve jersey now.
Yeah.
And, he wears it for a week on set.
I think not
a week?
Well, yes, and not only that, but we have to get you some sort of like electric buzzer that goes underneath it, right, Nuno? Not only, we have to have like an arrow that says like, here's the press my buzzer or whatever it is. I like this idea. Altuve is that the player you hate the most on that team?
Sure.
He's the center of it. So what do you think, Nuno? An Altuve jersey for Hembo?
I like it, but let's rig also that buzzer so that Bubba, myself, and obviously you have the ability to shock him just throughout the show.
Oh, like when your dog has like an electric fence and you're like teaching it not to go running out into the street from your house.
Correct.
Yes. I like this plan.
It's not possible to be a worse fan than I am. It's not possible. I cost my team a championship arrogantly tweeting stats and changing my behavioral patterns. And here all I can do is rip the manager.
See,
I'm so lame.
What I did yesterday,
no argument here.
Yeah, I mean, What is amazing to me is that you're pointing this out ex post facto.
Yeah.
I want to give you like a role model. So over the course of the last week, you came on this radio show and on Twitter, super public forums, and absolutely spat in the face of the baseball gods. Plus, you had something that was working watching the game on your phone.
Right.
And you didn't. Yesterday, I'm by myself in my house. I had to pee the entire second half and didn't. I sat on my couch alone and would not budge until that last fourth down pass fell harmlessly incomplete. That's how you be a fan, you doofus. We'll be right back.
Monday on Bart and Hahn, it's Overreaction Monday, and we may have a few of our own after the Jets and their league best defense, yeah, I said it, stunned the Bills. Bart and Hahn, Monday at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, and watch us on the ESPN app.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you hiring? What type of role are you hiring for? Whether you need to hire a civil engineer in New York or a mascot in Missouri, ZipRecruiter can help you find qualified candidates fast. Their matching technology finds people with the right experience for your job, and you can invite them to apply. It's no wonder that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. That's ZipRecruiter.com/GREENY.
The big dog is loose again. Here's Tom Abraham.
Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Alabama has made the college football playoff 7 of the 8 years in its existence. Now it's 7 of 9. Those that have been clamoring for some new meat in the playoff will likely get it this year, as the Tide, barring a miracle, and maybe Clemson, won't be invited to this party. TCU, UCLA, USC, and believe it or not, Tennessee are still alive to make their first playoff, but make no mistake, this is Georgia's world right now, and we're just living in it. In fact, I'll go a step further. Georgia is now Alabama. Look, it's not like the Tide suck. I mean, it took a last-second field goal and a ballsy overtime 2-point play to beat them on the road this season. But this isn't the Alabama we've become accustomed to over the years. If you want to see that team, look east a couple of hundred miles to Athens, Georgia. I mean, look at these Bulldogs. They lose 5 defensive players off a championship team to the first round of the NFL draft and come back as strong as ever. Play 2 offenses in Oregon and Tennessee that average over 48 points a game and completely muzzle them, allowing 1 TD combined. Sound familiar? I mean, take an overachieving quarterback, run the ball, throw on play action, be balanced, and win the game. Georgia ran it 37 times and threw it 25 in their smothering of the Vols. In a tight game in Baton Rouge, the Tide called 26 runs and 54 passes. I mean, more than 2-1 in a game that was a 1-score game all night. And I'll say it again. Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, Jake Coker, and Mac Jones in a vacuum year. These are the guys that have won natties for Alabama as starters, not the more gifted Jalen Hurts, who was bailed out by Tua, or Tua, who couldn't stay on the field, or even the Heisman-winning Bryce Young.
Listen for Tom Abraham throughout the day on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the Kale Crunch Salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
I'm number 2. Pick 2 Friday on The Drive is brought to you by Humphrey's Bar and Grill.
I mean, this wouldn't happen on the Wheel of Fortune.
Call into The Drive each Friday for your chance to win on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Football season, and the king of college football reigns supreme all year long. Southern Sports Today proudly presents The Chuck Oliver Show. It's an inside look at everything college football, presented by Dr. Pepper, and you're home to watch all the college game day action with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Now live from Atlanta, Georgia, it's time to talk college football with the reigning king of college football, Chuck Oliver, on Southern Sports Today.
It's the biggest win of the season. And for the number one reason Kirby wants, it is Chuck Oliver Show on a Monday. And we talked on Friday. I said there are scenarios for Georgia, Tennessee, where either team wins by 14 points. We should have seen that. And specifically with Georgia, I said, if it's a 14-point win, and I just picked a number, folks. This is not, hey, let's go back and play the tape. I was right. Out of all the universe of possible numbers, I happened to pick 14 just to demonstrate it was a comfortable victory. If any team in this 1 versus 3 matchup actually had a comfortable victory, and boy, did Georgia. If either team had a comfortable victory, and I just picked 14, so it landed on that, whatever. I said, if Tennessee does that, it's because Georgia runs out of corners, like corners that you feel good about lining up from one sideline all the way over the other. I said, if Georgia wins by 14, it's going to be the offensive line. And I thought when I said that, what I was talking about was the offensive line getting dominant and just blasting open holes and taking over a front seven that was pretty good, in fact, and stopping the run and et cetera. At Georgia's offensive line, whether it was a pride thing, whether whatever, Georgia ran the ball okay, and they had some plays where they didn't really bust one, but they had some good tough yards. And then what they didn't do is necessarily go backwards the way Tennessee did when they had convertible opportunities. So Georgia, I want to say that first. I said the offensive line, I was thinking maybe they'd just grind up Tennessee. There was some of that.
What there was a whole lot more.